Oh god, I have copyrighted music playing. There we go.
Mark Zuckerberg's gonna zuck you.
Oh no, not again!
Damn it, Mark!
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Wait, Sean, you need to actually get into the Roll20.
Yeah, it's loading.
Where is the Roll20 link? Can I get one, please?
Evan, you have to fucking go to Roll20. And Evan, are you disabled?
Like that's a question.
Well, I'm not.
Evan,
I'm not
are you disabled?
I'm enabled.
You're a player in the game. You have to come to Roll20. Go to your list of games.
Well, listen.
Go to the Elder Scrolls Dreamstride.
No, listen, I'm DM, I'm God in this universe. You're just a little orc thought boy. Get in the Roll20!
I've written this whole fucking thing, and you're gonna come in here and ruin it!
Well, that's my job.
The great autismo strikes again.
Oh boy.
Damn it! Autism being Texas. Oh wait, that's offensive.
Yeah, so, Evan, you go to Roll20. I'm just gonna...
Wait, where's Dani?
Oh my god, I haven't even gone...
Other Dani.
I haven't even gone on to the fucking main page yet, and I already see on the stream that you guys have been fucking drawing all over it.
We haven't done anything. This is
I didn't.
always been like this.
The stream's just been on this for a solid few minutes now. I had no idea.
Right. Alright.
Adam's funky fresh broth. Oh Jesus Christ!
I probably need to set my mic to push to speak because of my keyboard, and I type out notes.
What the fuck?
Let's see, hotkeys.
Why am I tied up in the back of this dungeon? Oh, are you guys here to save me from the vampire? Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 4 of the Elder Scrolls Dreamstride.
Episode 4!
It might be 4, I don't know. I'm Adam, I am the Dungeon Master for this game. And here with us today we have Franners.
Hello.
We have Sean.
Hi.
We have Dani number 1.
Hi.
We're supposed to have Dani number 2, but he's off jerking his meat or something. He's taking a huge shit. And we also have Evan. So hello, Evan.
Hello, I brought copyright music.
Yes.
Can we say shit faster to Dani, as is tradition?
We can. Please spam him with shit faster.
Oh, me wa mo shinderu. Dani.
Oh, my wa mo shinderu. Nani? Right, wait, hang on. I can't seem to clear the drawings off the fucking...
New poster.
There we go.
No! No!
Let's put on some actual proper music instead of the meme shit that breaks your ears.
So, you're putting on the Windows 97?
Yeah, exactly. How does he know?
Because I've been tied up in this vampire dungeon. Oh, I didn't spoil it.
We know.
You don't even know if it's a vampire dungeon. That's just
our characters don't know, but it's a meta. No! Mother must know!
Right, I'm actually going to move you over to the map now.
Oh,
But before that, last time on the Elder Scrolls Dreamstride, you all arrived in Riverhold, and then you all immediately fucked off out of Riverhold again when you went into a temple and you overheard the clergy quite loudly complaining that all of their clientele were kind of like defecting over to another temple, close by a temple, about 7 miles or so east of Riverhold. And you decided after seeing a flyer to head there. When you got there, you met a bunch of really, really pale people and decided to do some behind-the-scenes investigation. At which point you fell into a mirror, you got blasted with a flamethrower, Sean did some shots with a bartender, and you went through, I think, the main worship hall. And you ended up coming into like this little side chamber, and nobody really knows you're here yet. You're still kind of sneaking around. Hi, Fran's mother. Hope you're doing okay.
That's why earlier, by the way, is because my mum randomly phoned me and was like, "Are you actually eating?" And I'm like, "All I had to eat before you called was a pint of ice cream."
You have a very lovely mother, Fran.
She raises you right.
So
She
yes,
dragged me
welcome
up
back
proper.
to the Elder Scrolls Dreamstride. You are now in the side room.
It's dark as fuck.
Right, so you go into this little side room and it's quite dark. It's a narrow hallway.
It's so dark I can't see anything. Oh, there we go.
To your character's left side as you walk in, to the right as you look at the map, there's some stairs leading upwards. And to the other side, there at the end of the corridor, you can see a dead end with a table of some kind of long poles, wooden poles. What would you like to do?
Well, can I change my name back to what my actual character name is as well?
No,
please.
Please. It's canon.
No.
It is canon now. I'm sorry.
No, it's not.
You are going to be called Link.
Link.
Link. No,
I should make an RPG with a character named Link.
No, it's Link.
Oh no! If only somebody would make an RPG with a protagonist called Link. Oh no. Yes. What would you like to do, guys?
I want to go look at the table, but there's a Dani in the way. The wrong Dani. The one that's not here.
The one that's not. Okay, so as usual, Darren is going to be banished to the bull pit dimension. While
I like how he just went just off the screen.
This entire time.
Right, so Darren is now in the bull pit dimension.
I want to
because
go
his
investigate
player is
this
AFK.
table.
Okay, let's make our way over there. Clunk.
Oh
Clunk.
no.
Sit down, boy. So as you step on the ground...
Why do we never do any checks to make sure that we're not going to die? Why is this something that we all do?
Here in the clunk, can I move?
Well, first of all, before any of you can do anything, the floor gives out from underneath Fran, and she kind of disappears into the ground. And the floor reseals above her. Fran's character, Loic, he is now in this very tiny, claustrophobic, cramped, dark little chamber. And you can feel liquid on your feet slowly rising up to your ankles.
Oh my god. Oh my god. This is actually, as a person, human being, this is one of my worst fears.
Unless you like to make a comment about the fact that Fran's just kind of disappeared into
Wait, what is swarming up her feet?
water.
Oh, okay. Well,
Like she can feel a liquid at her feet, and it's kind of slowly rising.
It's semen.
Yes, of course it is. What else could it be?
Not water.
But do your characters have any comments? Oh yeah, Joe's also in the bull pit round. Do your characters have any comments about this?
I scream using thaumaturgy so that it's louder than usual, so that somebody can hear me. I'm guessing because there's I'm like, guys, the water's, it's rising, and it's just, oh my god, what the fuck is happening? And I just start proper fucking panic time.
So Thel Tanaka is investigating, I guess.
I wonder where that strange sound is coming from. Maybe it's the floor, or my camera just...
I forgot that I'm on push to talk, so I've been speaking, but nothing's been picked up.
Special boy.
So...
Sure, you're actually a thought.
It's because I had stream mode on, and I didn't hear it, but...
No, Thel isn't here. Thel's nowhere near anything.
No, he did. He
came with the fucking cheese wheel.
I did an investigation check for any other traps.
Okay, so you actually spot on the floor, like the kind of the groove of these pitfall traps. Excuse me. And you can see where Loic has fallen in is the bottom one.
Crunch.
I'm gonna go push it now. Just kidding. Not gonna do that again.
So there's no other ones that he can see other than...
No, those are the only ones you can see. Meanwhile, Loic, the liquid is now up to your knees.
I don't have anything that I can do.
Jothar is approaching
hold on.
cautiously. And he peers down into the hole.
Which is sealed.
Oh, is it? Oh. Okay, I didn't know it was sealed.
After Loic fell in, it kind of resealed above her.
Jothar tries to just stomp on it with 1 foot.
It gives way to the weight and does kind of spring down, and you very briefly catch a glimpse of Loic and you can see water rising around the knees. And Loic, like the roof above you has very suddenly been kicked in, and then it springs back up again. How do you two react to this?
Does anybody have like a pole?
I have a crowbar. I was gonna put a crowbar in there to keep it open. So I thrust my crowbar into the thing to keep it open, so that Jothar can pick her up.
Him.
And what does Jothar do?
Alright. Does that work?
Oh yes. What do you do?
Well, does the crowbar keep it open? Is what he's going to ask.
Yes, that's fine.
Alright, so how far down is Loic actually? Like, would
About
he be...
5 feet.
Oh, so I was like crushed up against the ceiling then.
Like,
Kind
let's
of.
say, like
Oh no, I mean your head is about 5 feet down.
Oh, okay, so it means that I can jump and he can catch me.
Probably, yeah.
You're really good.
Alright, so Jothar being pretty big and pretty bulky, I guess he's stronger than Feltanaka. He kind of like reaches down and like, you know, grab my hand. Hurry up!
I go to jump and grab his hand.
Okay, Jothar, can you make a strength check?
Strength check, let's see. 1 moment. I just have to remember how to do this. Jothar, character sheet. Strength check. Where's
the
strength?
kids with the pumped up kicks?
Where's
Fran.
strength? What the fuck?
Oh,
Don't tempt me into playing that again.
no.
Hey, where is strength actually?
It's on the
Core stats.
second page. You want to do
of course,
unaspected
stats.
strength check.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Moment.
Are you strong enough?
Wait, how do I do this? No, it's not. It's not save, is it?
No, it's unskilled
No,
strength check.
no,
So
unskilled
you go
strength
into
check.
skills.
Yeah, it's at the
And
bottom.
down at the bottom.
Oh, okay. Unskilled strength check. Okay.
Dani, are you disabled?
Please be good. Hey!
Hey!
Hey, pizza.
Okay, so how do you hoist Loic out of this pit?
Well, I
Do a
grab him,
backflip
like-
and flip him over your head.
no.
Batista
Just
bumps me.
on popcorn.
That's a lost meme on some people. Okay.
Like, he manages to snatch Loic by the forearm, grips tightly, and just like pulls him upwards.
And I use
Yeah.
like the size of the wall and I hold onto him and sort of like clamber my way up until I can bumps on the edge and help myself up.
And just to make sure Loic is safe, he gives him a little hug, just like reassuring pat on the back when he's falling.
Yeah, Loic's currently very much broken down right now, rather understandably, I feel. And he's like, oh my god, that was utterly terrifying. This is RP at its best, I think you'll find.
Yes. I wonder if Thel's going to make a comment or if he's just going to lick his eyeball.
Perhaps it would have been better if I fell in there. If I fell in there.
No. Just don't make that joke ever again, okay?
Hey, highlight.
No,
okay?
I just suddenly, so because I have the stream open at the same time, one of my suggested videos is during a hurricane.
There's
Hey! Oh my vamos sendero! Or whatever.
Oh, he's no longer in the ball pit dimension.
So Darren magically reappears from the ball pit dimension, having not seen any of
On the
this.
other side.
Hi there, Darren.
Oh, yeah. Right, Dani.
Oh, hi, Mark.
There's even a
Oh,
thing.
hi, Mark.
Wait, I forget. Dani, you were here last session, weren't you?
He was.
I didn't
Literally
even
just
know
started
it
off.
was
We're in that side room that you were going into at the end of the last session, and Loic bravely charged down the hallway and promptly fell into a pitfall that Jothar has just managed to rescue him from.
And it started filling with water, so I should have followed in there, because you know I can breathe underwater. It would have been fine.
Yeah, but you can breathe in the water. That doesn't mean being in there with Loic cramped in that tiny space would have helped Loic.
No, I said I should have fallen in there, not Loic.
Oh, it's fine. Then we'll just push you in and leave you trapped in there for the rest of the night.
No.
That's okay. You can breathe water. You're fine.
You were fine.
It's open
Don't need
up.
food.
No food.
Jotham just continues to like reassure and pat Loic on the back.
Yeah, did Thel have a comment about what he's just witnessed?
Oh, I said perhaps it would have been better if I fell in there.
It just says you're already dead.
No shit.
Get faster.
Danny, my character is tied up somewhere.
Tied up where?
We don't know.
Noah's basement.
You don't know yet.
Nose hose?
Yeah, it's because everybody turned around and said, "Hi, I'm playing today," and I was like, "I don't know where we're gonna put your character."
I like to be a nuisance.
We just hear a knock on the other pitfall. Hello, is anyone up there?
Hello, is anyone?
You know the Left 4 Dead 2 cupboards.
Genuinely, do you want to do that?
Man, I don't know about you guys, but I just want to kill some elves. That's all I want.
Evan, please do this.
Wait, I have an actual question.
I think I hear someone else in there. I shove the crowbar into the other trap.
As you wrench the top of the other trap open, you can see, fully submerged in water, but not appearing to be worried by that at all, a big, bulky orc man in long, flowing robes, and he's staring up at you directly into your soul.
I remove the crowbar. I'm just kidding.
Just close.
Actually, the crowbar snaps in two.
No, I go to the side.
Just kidding!
And then I just leave the game forever.
I tried to help him up. They'll let me try.
Am I?
No, he's a. Okay.
So
I jump over him. I'm just kidding.
Wait, so how do we have a crowbar
So
in
you've
Elder
just-
Scrolls?
You've literally
That
just.
Shut up.
Freeman.
Dr. Freeman DLC? You got the Valve DLC pack.
Dani, are you actually going to get into the Roll20?
Just, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, you've just literally found this orc in the other pitfall trap. No
Yeah, I
idea how
need
he's
to
got
get him out.
in
No, I want to help him up.
So, Evan,
Yes?
because this has been so last minute,
Thanks to someone.
your character for some reason, which you'll need
He's
to
gay.
work out,
He's gay.
was in this temple, okay, and he went into the side room and fell into the trap. I know this is a really bad way to introduce your character, but
Someone didn't tell me about me, did
I was hoping for a worse introduction, like he just comes in, hey guys, what's up?
He's like, hey!
magic teleports in and says, "Hi, God said I have to help you, or he won't buy me an ice cream for dinner."
There's a
That's
fat
basically
dog.
my storyline, so fuck you.
Oh, yeah, did you help Rush?
So basically, the story
Yes,
is
I'm
that Cortana
trying.
loses her ice cream at the Grand Canyon. It's like, I want the
with a
ice cream.
heave, Loic manages to
How do I
get
see
strange
myself?
orc man out of the water. And he's,
Adam, I have a black screen.
you have a black screen.
Zoom out, and then find where we are.
Zoom.
Oh no, I know why. It's because I mean.
I found myself.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm Rush.
Hi, I'm Loic. And what? Somebody else talk, I'm not good at this. And I walk away.
Hello.
I'm hiding.
Now he's.
Where's everybody else? Don't be shy. Talk to the orc guy.
So you have this strange orc man
man.
dripping wet in front of you.
So we're gonna get a towel.
Who are you and who is your father and what does he do?
My father.
Who is your daddy and what does he do? Lie!
My father is an orc firefighter.
He's a firefighter. Do you know fire magic by any chance?
No.
Well, you're useless. Get the fuck out of here.
Okay, I'll jump in the trap.
Here, I'll do it for you.
How do you move yourself?
You click and
Click on
drag
it.
your token.
Click and drag.
So yeah, no, literally, again, you've literally all seen this random orc for some fucking reason in a trap, and you're not going to question.
This is a trap.
Hi there, come with us on our journey to find the, I don't know, something for
Well,
some dumbass day.
How did you get stuck here in the first place? Okay,
I was looking for some vampires.
these guys have
Vampires?
vampires. Wait, is everyone in this building a vampire?
Those
Rush
pasty
doesn't.
white, those pasty white men weren't part of Lincoln Park. They're vampires.
Lincoln what?
What's this? You mean Fantasy Lincoln Park? Oh, I know what that is then.
They play the lute and the tambourine.
Tamriel Park.
No, Cyrodiil Park.
Cyrodiil Park. No, we need to find like a shitty city.
Joe is still playing PUBG, by the way.
I know. I've sent him several messages saying we're doing Dreamstride, and he still hasn't even seen them.
That's because you have to.
PUBG dimension.
I'll message him on Steam. That'll probably do it.
Pub what? Pub where? Pub who? Wow.
Yes. I was just breakdancing, you know.
Yeah, I can just see you just run around.
My character isn't the brightest, but he like continuously obsessively looks for knowledge for no reason. He just wants to get more powerful.
So he's kind of like Drax in a way.
Yeah, Rosh, why don't you explain to everyone in character who you are and why you're here?
I'm Rosh, and why I'm here is none of your business.
Rosh, why is it not our business? Why is it not our business?
Okay, back in the hole.
Yeah, do you want us to put you back in the hole? Huh? I'm saying this from behind Darren because I'm scared of him. You want me to go? Yeah. What?
Yeah. Do you want
I'll
to do
drink all the damn water. I don't care.
Oh, what water? Hold on.
Well, you sound.
Darren uses his dishonored blinking powers and actually crashes into a wall.
And dies.
But yes, no, you are reminded that over past Raj is that table with the wooden poles.
I want to go investigate the ones, but I want to see. Wait, who's his face? Whoever did the investigation check, did he find all of the traps?
He's the only traps he spotted that he can tell of are those two.
I want to do another investigation check.
Okay, if that's a roll investigation.
Because we all know that me and my amazing rolls, this is going to go fabulously.
Beautifully.
What are we investigating?
Oh! That's a spicy roll!
As far as you can tell, those two pitfall traps are the only in the room.
Okay, so I want to squeeze past everyone and go over
I'm
to the other
gonna
side.
jump over the pitfall trap.
Jump them over them, yeah.
Okay.
Those look like train tracks? What are those?
At the far end of the hall, as you two approach, you find that it is a table, and spread out across it rather neatly are 10 wooden stakes.
Ooh, I take 5 of them.
You take 5, okay. Would anybody else like to take the 5 rushes?
I'm gonna take 2 of them.
Yeah, I'll take two.
So you guys are just going to ignore the orc you've pulled out of the thing?
I'll stab him with the
know
tape.
who he is.
Well,
You still don't know who this man is.
There's a lot at stake, so I don't think they would want to give me one.
Right, actually get out.
Wow, man, Fran just like hogged them all.
Yep.
And Joe has joined us at last.
Jesus wept.
So only half an hour.
Oh, the cat just teleported into existence.
How much weight is the wooden stake?
They weigh 0.5 each.
Full biscuit.
Yeah, so again, you literally have this all man in front of you. None of you know who he is or...
Yeah, but we've asked him, but he's not answering our questions.
Evan's doing bad roleplay.
Why would
All right.
answer questions to random people?
Because
You know-
they lifted you out of a fucking pitfall trap.
Yeah. We can
So,
put you back in there, you know.
Evan, Rush, you've been trapped in there for a little while, and these people have stumbled across you and basically rescued you, okay?
Alright, fine, I trust you.
Your mixing is messed up, by the way. One of you is super duper loud in comparison to the rest. Who is it?
I don't
You.
know.
Probably Evan.
Probably me.
So Ross eats some chips.
No, Evan, can you try and take this a bit more seriously?
Okay. Basically, he
Chips?
says, "I'm Raj." I don't want to voice act because I feel cringe. But Raj, he basically says, "Hey, I'm Raj. I came in here looking because I just saw some mysterious figures just running in here every night." So he's like, "Hey, yo, check it out." And he's been in here for about half a week and he's starving.
Oh shit, that's a long time.
I reach into my bag and give him some of my rations.
And then
Thanks.
he noms. He noms.
He
I give him
numbs.
some noms.
Is he fully replenished? Can I
Excuse
step
me,
on?
Raj.
Are there two Khajiits in here?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Hey,
the exact same
wait.
Khajiit.
Can everyone be quiet real quick? So
On the fact that you've just been called the same Khajiit.
wait, could everyone be quiet real quick so that I can figure out whose sound is messed up?
I am the racist. I am the racist one in the group.
So Raj, he looks at Drazapelli, he says, "It's kind of clear that you're a motherfucking JoJo reference."
Thanks.
So, what were you investigating, Raj? Was it? Yes.
These people were walking in, and a lot of people were kind of sketched out, like nobody really knows who they were. So I was like, hey, I'll look inside and figure it out. Didn't expect the cowards to dig a big hole in stone.
You're still standing in the trap. You got pulled out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
let's.
in some space.
Well,
Which
if
way
he's
is-
here for the similar reasons as us, we might as well let him tag along. Let's keep going.
She gave me a burrito, I'll tag along.
He.
Yeah, Fran's character is a he. And
It's a he.
Oh,
Transgender. Yeah.
did you just assume?
Low gender.
I didn't assume shit. I carefully talked through this with her.
What if she modded the game, hit tilde, and changed her gender?
Dude, all you have to do is just hit the tilde, then type in sex change. God,
Yeah,
come on.
sex
No,
change.
I
Stop being so
realised
close-minded.
that it's Sean actually that's really super duper loud still.
On the stream?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, that it's loud.
it's
I know why.
A quick reminder.
No,
A quick
it
reminder of your surroundings.
it was very loud because I had some microphone issues, and I turned my input volume up really loud, so it should be better now because I just halved it.
Okay.
Right, okay. You know, you still got that huge hall to your north and the room to your right. And in Rush, in terms of how much you know about the place, you have been to the same areas that the others have, which are all to the west.
I want to go to the stairs. I want to go up the stairs.
Right, okay.
Where are the stairs? Wait, hold on.
This way.
Would you like to, like, wave the others over?
Come on, let's go up the stairs.
Holy crap, this is
Okay.
cool.
So you begin to proceed up the stairs, and if you stop there...
And then
for
I
a
do an
moment-
investigation check because fuck you and your traps.
Ah, I
No,
know where
Fran.
we are.
You
May I
have
remind
traps.
everyone, keep your spacing.
As far as you can tell, this is a perfectly ordinary hallway, but on either side, the left and the right, there are some windows.
Can somebody else do an investigation check, please? Because I
I'll
apparently
look at
am
the
blind.
windows.
Okay, so as Raj heads up and he looks through either window, he notices that through the right one, he can see the landscape of Anakina before him. And it appears that you're actually probably on one of the lower levels of the temple. And you can kind of see the dusty badlands and the rainforest sprawling out on the horizon. Throughout the left window, you can peer into this hallway. And you can't really see terribly much from here. It's very dark. But it's essentially, from what you can tell, this giant chamber, and you can see some kind of crypt and an Argonian man standing before it, gently cleaning the side of it with a huge ragged cloth with holes
Yeah,
in it.
right there.
Darren, no. That's not okay. Don't do that, alright?
Yeah.
I'll use my teleporting stealth ability to get in there.
I just wanted to see the Argonian
Sorry.
guy.
Rosh, you've just seen both of these sites. Do you want to tell the party? What do you want to do?
It's a big lizard man, and I'm not talking about the one that's already here. He's in that window.
Okay.
There's already an Argonian in the party, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
there is.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, I would sound stupid if I just didn't.
Too late.
I saw the dragon character, and I was like, is that a... Okay.
Dragon.
So is there like a pane of glass in between me and this lizard guy?
Sorry? Yes, there's a pane of glass.
Hmm.
So Rosh decides to like tap on the glass to see if he can get it
No!
A little tap, tap, tap.
Tappity tap tap tap.
Your finger, your solid orcish nail, you can hear ding, 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 ring out through the hallway. However, the Argonian man, hooded on the other side, doesn't seem to take any notice of the sound.
Thank God.
Lois, grab him.
Yeah, go No. I'd sort of like take his hand and go, we're trying to not get killed here. Come on, let's keep going.
I can take him. He looks.
No. I know you probably can, but just trust me. We don't need this right now.
We don't want to slaughter an entire temple.
Yeah, I don't want to have to fight my way out of this place. I want to get out of here alive. Thank you very much.
All right, holy man. I'll do it your way. Since you rescued me and gave me a burrito.
Thank you. Let's go.
It was a sweet roll.
It was a sweet roll.
It was a sweet roll burrito.
That sounds pretty delicious, actually.
Yeah.
So that's fucking disgusting.
It's a breakfast burrito. I mean, dessert burrito.
Well, a sweet roll burrito would be good because you could have like the sweet roll itself because it's got like a hole in the middle, doesn't it? A sweet roll.
Yeah.
So you just put like stuff in it.
Based. It's just all sweet roll.
Yeah, it's just a sweet roll burrito with more sweet roll.
It's the sweet roll.
To stop us from talking about sweet roll burritos.
We have a conversation about sweet rolls.
Ahead of you, the corridor heads to the left.
Yeah, but Adam, sweet rolls.
Sweet rolls.
On
the right side, there is a statue with its head smashed and on the floor.
Oh.
As Rosh approaches, the statue head suddenly begins to move.
Sweet rules.
Most notably,
goes
the
back.
lips. Hey, you there? You're flesh and blood, aren't you?
You're stone and rock.
Exactly, my friend. Oh, it's been so long since we've had such interesting visitors down here. Could you be a dear and put my head back on my neck for me, please?
Yeah,
as soon as you told me why you were killed in the
I just realized something.
What'd you realize?
That I could a long time ago because I'm a cleric, basically.
Yeah.
I am a smart child.
You are a very smart child.
Yeah, you are.
Divine sense.
What does divine sense do?
Until the end of your next turn, or just like for a certain period of time, any danger or undead within 60 feet of you that is not behind total cover, you can know the type of any being whose presence you sense but not its identity. Within the same radius, you can also detect the presence of any place or object that has been consecrated or desecrated, as with the Hallow spell.
Oh.
Where'd you learn that one? Hogwarts?
Yes, because I went to Hogwarts.
Okay, if you'd like to cast it, you may.
Hogwarts.
There you go.
Within the radius, you do not sense
Hogwarts
anything.
is not a real place.
Within 60 feet of me.
Yes, you do not sense anything.
Okay.
Really?
I'm going to Arcana. Sure.
Stone.
But that lizard is like closer than 60 feet.
Yeah.
I guess he's not undead.
Or a danger.
Oh yeah, or a danger.
Oh shit. What?
No,
Okay.
don't do that.
So, what happened to you in the first place? Why is your head, well, on the floor?
Basically, someone was awfully clumsy. I'm just your average statue. I wasn't even in the way.
Your average statue that talks.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is a rather narrow hallway.
I rolled Arcana for the statue.
I'll be right back, guys.
Let's roll Arcana.
I rolled for 22.
You can tell that this is a traditional talking statue from High Rock. They were used about 2,000 years ago in some various sort of divination rituals. However, they were very quickly dropped from use as they were a bit useless and shit.
How do you
Basically, they're sentient statues that were supposed to be used to see the future, but they couldn't do that. All they could do was talk.
They just talk.
Yeah, and Fel
how do you-
knows this.
So every time you do an action, you need to roll?
Only certain actions. Just ask me if you need to do an action, and I'll tell you if you need to roll.
Okay.
There's a lot of things you don't need to roll for. So, Fel, you know this about the statue. Would you like to share? Or would you like to keep it to yourself?
I shared it with everyone.
Okay. So, does Fel want to, explain that?
You said it was like a 2,000-year-old High Rock statue that can pretty much only speak.
Yeah.
So this statue here is probably about 2,000 years old. Comes from the land of High Rock, and it's pretty much harmless. It can only speak. So, statue, if we put your head back on, will you tell us what's going on here?
Well, I can tell you what I know, and I'm actually quite impressed by your knowledge. But yes, please, I do sort of need my head back on my neck. It's very, very stressful without it.
Thel puts
So it's
his
not
head
like
back
this.
on him.
Okay, so you lift it up, and it's rather heavy, but it's not too much of a problem. And you slap it back on, and with this sort of green aura, the neck completely seals, and the head is back on. And the statue gives you a smile. Thank you. You have no idea how long I've been waiting for my head to be back on my neck. Oh,
Exactly
right.
how long have you been here?
Well, it looks good on
very,
you.
very long time. So long I've lost count. But I tell you what, for your kindness, I will tell you not to step to the north. Don't do that. Like, you, there, what are you, Red Guard? Red Guard, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so you see where the corridor goes that way, and the statue kind of eyes towards the north. Yeah, basically, you want to watch your step. There's some nasty things you don't want to step on in here.
Let me guess, more traps.
Oh, I'm guessing by more you've already had some experience.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Rash is still fucking dripping, and I've got wet feet, so...
Yeah, we've stumbled on a few.
Right, I see. Well,
I've
yes,
been wet for
do
a
watch
few
your
days.
step. Actually, watch where you're going. Do you have any questions about the place? I don't know much, but I'd be happy to share
Is...
if I know.
What is this place, even?
This
Yeah, I was
place
about to
is
ask.
Glowspire Temple. Or at least that's its current name. It was first established around 350 years ago. Although I have no idea why, but until recent times it has been mostly decrepit and abandoned. But about 20 years ago or so, some group came in and began making restorations to the place. Not very efficient restorations, mind you, as if you couldn't tell the place is still crumbling. But either way, they appear to be making good use of the facilities, if you catch my drift.
Do you know what the group is?
I'm afraid not. There isn't much intel I can gather from being a statue in a side corridor.
You haven't seen anything odd or particular about them?
Hmm,
By any chance?
I've seen these strange hooded figures roaming back and forth through the halls. I've asked them a few times if they could be deers and put my head back on my neck, considering it was one of them who knocked it off in the first place. But no, they just ignore me and mumble and drool a little bit.
What's...
Disgusting.
And
What's
I
your
ask, are they all Argonians or lizardmen?
It's hard to get a good look at them. I think one or two of them are Argonians, but really they appear to vary wildly by race.
Wait, you said they drooled. What do you mean by that?
They drool. They,
Just wanna
you
be
know,
nice.
like a babe. Like a
Does that mean that
young,
are they like,
disabled babe. Like
do they seem like they're conscious of
saliva
themselves?
dripping from
by
their
any chance?
chin. I have no idea. It's just, ghastly.
Right.
I'll be back in a sec.
Do you think maybe these guys might be thralls?
Trolls. That's an interesting idea.
Because
I
we're kind of
wouldn't
under
know.
the suspicion that there's might be vampires in this area. We're not really sure yet.
Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me. Anakina has been going south for quite a while. Vampires would just be the cherry on top of the cake, wouldn't it? But
That's
no, I'm
interesting.
afraid I don't know. Again, I'm a statue in a side corner. There's not terribly much I can see or hear from here.
How heavy is the statue?
The statue, well, you can't really tell without trying to manhandle it and pick it up.
What's his name? Did we find out his name? Sorry.
No, I haven't asked yet.
I want to ask him.
You can ask him. Ask him.
Yeah. I
His
wanna
name
ask
is
him his
Cass.
name.
Hey, statue, what's your name? Do you have a name by any chance?
Born on.
Oh, it's not Kaz.
It's a
I don't.
terrible-
So
My
Rosh
new
says
child.
I don't like that name, and he says I'm gonna call you B.
D?
B. As
B for
in
boron.
the insect?
B for boron.
Boron?
Right. Okay. Kind of gives an awkward, uncomfortable smile at you.
Don't mind
How
me.
is this
Probably-
statue like properly like going with the moving like that sort of?
The head moves, and the mouth and the various features of the head, but the rest of them is focused on.
I want to take him with us.
Was he
Yeah.
always a paraplegic?
Yeah, that's true.
Quadriplegic, excuse me.
Can we just remove his head again and take it with us?
Could you just take him with us?
Barnum, how heavy are you?
I pick
That's
him
a
up.
very personal question.
We're making you with us. We
So
like
Raj-
you.
I don't think I'm very...
Raj picks him up to see how heavy he is.
Well, make a strength check.
That sigh of an exasperated DM.
The orc can carry him in his back, like with strapping.
Where are you trying to lift him? How are you trying to lift him?
With my legs and my... With,
His arms, like
Are you
biceps.
keeping your back straight?
Strong.
I mean, are you trying to pick him up around the base? Or whatever?
yeah.
Yeah, okay. Make a strength check.
Oh no! If you fail, he's gonna fall.
What you do for that, Evan, because I know you're new to Roll20, is you go to the journal tab. That's the third one along, on top right. You go to the
It's
players
the second
subsection
one
and
along.
find your character, Rashko
I don't
Raza.
even know how.
I see
Click
it.
on the second tab on character sheet, and it'll actually bring up your character sheet. The second tab of those little blue buttons is skills. You want to click that?
I see it.
Yeah, and this is your skill rolls. Scroll down to the bottom, and under the grey other section in the bottom left, there is a button that says unskilled strength check, and to the left of that, there's a little dice button.
I see it.
Yep, if you click that.
Bang.
Bang!
Ping, ping, ping.
Rush is a rather burly sorcerer, being an orc, and he. How do you lift?
How do you lift?
I squat down, keep my back straight. I hold the base and then lift with my
He
legs.
lifts like a power lifter.
Your face contorts with effort, and you let out a big growl as you physically tear the bottom of this statue from the ground. Like it was sealed into the stone. It was built as part of the floor, and you've managed to tear it from the floor. To which the statue, Boron, goes, "Ah! What are you doing? Oh my god! What are you doing? Oh god, put me down! Put me down! What the hell? What in oblivion? By the night!
Put him down, put him down, put him down. He seems stressed. Look, I'm sorry. We just want to.
How did he even do that?
He's a strong boy.
Rush, the strong boy, you have an entire fucking statue in your arms that weighs about 400 kilograms.
This is my baby. I am carrying it with me now.
In Russia's, I'm gonna keep it.
Keep him all there.
I'm gonna keep it.
Okay, your move speed is 1 while you're carrying him. I hope you realise that.
Worth it.
It goes down from 6 to 1 while you're carrying something that heavy.
All I have to do is.
You are over encumbered.
Are you saying I'm fat rolling?
Yes, you are you are seriously fat rolling right now.
You're not even
Can we
rolling
just take
anymore.
his head?
You can't roll.
Guys, why don't we just take his head with us? Oh.
No, clunk. Well done, you clunked. You
You
clunked.
clunked.
So
You clunked with the statue. Now you're both dead.
So,
Burnham, are you alright?
I put him down.
well, hang on, you clunked.
You clunked, you can't.
Do you know what happens when you clunk?
I don't know what happened when you're gone.
Fun things happen when you clunk.
You fall and die.
Statue, and you step on the statue. You step on the statue. You hear a clunk, and the statue goes, "Oh my god! Is it just completely mentally backwards?"
Are you supposed to say by the nines?
Hey Evan, don't walk
By
that
the
way.
nine?
What if he worships a single guy, you fucking religionist?
By the 3.
You're a faggot.
But no, from the walls, a ominous green mist begins to pump into the room with a.
My god.
Now,
Are we gonna lose?
Giuseppe, come back. I see you.
God damn it, Evan. We even knew the traps were there.
We're back.
Now,
No.
I am not particularly good at drawing things, so I'm just gonna use fucking squares.
What just happened?
This is where the green stuff is, and
Move forward, fool. You're not here.
you,
Oh wait.
boy,
I got this. Anyone have a fire arrow?
No.
Divinity logic.
No, we don't have a fire arrow.
Damn, why couldn't we have the one time we need Shaitlin?
Am I still holding the statue?
you are
Wait.
still holding the statue. I'd like to put him down now.
Spellcaster,
I'm putting
we
him
don't have
down.
anymore.
Where do you put him?
Don't put him in the...
Slightly to the left.
here where I am.
I
What's
put him
the
down.
trap first.
Yeah.
Wait, hang on. Let me very quickly add the trap so you can actually see it. Hang on. Layer token. No, not token.
There's a clock over here. Clock.
No, it was there, and that was where you stood, you silly Billy.
Silly Billy.
I'm not moving myself.
No, I'm moving that so I can actually get the thing out of the way. Right, that's where you are. Where do you want to move? Where do you want to put down the thing?
Is that gas going to continue spreading?
It's what?
I'll just put him
I
like.
don't know. Is your ass going to continue spurting?
He just got
I think
arrested.
we should be going for this.
I have incense that can make the smelly smell go
your
away.
new orc companion, your new strong boy orc companion, he's still got the statue in his arm.
Drop the statue!
I said drop the statue like 5
But where? To your right? To your
right,
to your...
exactly where I dropped right in front of me.
There you go. You drop the statue, and he's just he's glaring daggers at you.
It's fine. He's a statue. He can't
I
tell
have
anyone.
candles. Will the fart logic with candles work with this?
The fart logic.
Yeah, because you know that if you light a match where you
Well, you
farted,
can
it
try.
gets the smell away. But I'm terrified that it's
No,
gonna...
if you light a match where you farted, it catches on fire.
Yeah, well, we can deal easier with fire than we can with...
Well, just throw
Not if it explodes.
just throw a just throw the candle into there.
Yeah,
Everyone
so
back
I light
away.
one of my candles, and I throw it into
You throw it into the mist.
the mist. But I ask, I say beforehand, Rage, move out the way.
Hey, Rage, move out the way, dum dum. Yeah.
And I yeet the candle into the...
With a yeet.
Yeah.
This shit, fire. Yeet.
Drop the candle into the mist as Rush moves. And that was not what I wanted to do. I accidentally deleted some of the floor.
It turned into wood.
Rush.
What was in that candle?
Oh, whoa, where did the floor go? Return the floor still there, guys. Hang on, I know how to fix this.
Yay!
Hey, but you hit traps.
There we go. Right, okay. So you lob the match into the gas, and with a flick, it ignites.
And then I use thaumaturgy and I make the flames go down so we can walk through.
Well,
But
okay,
ask
do you
somebody to
shield,
do
You
it.
want to shield yourself from the massive ass blast first.
Yeah, that's true.
How
I
do you
bring
do
my
that?
shield up. I bring my shield up.
Darren, do you want to do something to shield yourself from the massive ass blast?
There's a massive ass blast.
There's
Yeah,
a
because you
massive
just
ass
let a
blast.
cloud of like
She
methane
literally
on
just
fire.
Allah Akbar to you.
Let me
herself.
let me just look at my spell book and see what I got.
Just puts his massive dong in front of him.
Well, so while Darren is consumed by the fireball, he opens up his spell book and has a little notice. Has a little browse with the catalogue to see what he might want from Argos.
Wait, did I already get hit?
Well, you're gonna have to hurry up if you want to do something.
Well, this is like...
That's a fireball!
Like,
No, man, I still have time. I look at through my
I don't
menus.
have a shield.
Zawarudo.
I just suddenly realized.
Darren takes the full brunt of the blast.
No, it's a well done.
And
I charmed the fireball.
Darren is knocked back into the wall and takes 3 damage.
So what?
As you slam into the wall, and you can feel this shooting pain run up your back along your spine. You kind of slump onto the floor. And Loic, you managed to basically protect yourself from over the fire, but the shockwave still hits you, and you end up smacking into the wall as well.
Now you have surprise sciatica.
Hey, no, wasn't Rosh in front of me? How did he avoid this?
No, I told him
behind
to
you.
move. No, I did tell him to move.
So, yeah,
She said move, so I moved the fuck away.
Would you two like to comment on the fact that you've
You
just
didn't
been
tell me to
blasted into a
move.
wall?
I'm gonna step
So
on your face.
Rosh just goes by the 9, and then he just flies.
By the 9 divines! You stole my sweet roll!
Assault! Assault by the 9 divines!
Then pay with your blood!
Where's the blast?
Your stolen goods are forfeited. Fine, pay with your blood.
Hole now. Oh no, I killed the statue. Fuck.
Loic, as you get to your
Wait,
feet,
is the statue dead?
As you get to your feet and the smoke clears, you look ahead and you can see that where the statue once was, there is now a rather large pile of smoking ash.
Yeah, I knew this statue was
No! I'm just kidding.
By the 9 divines!
Top
So
10
the rest of
anime.
you have just witnessed your two party members being slammed into the wall by a huge fucking explosion. Would you
Yeah,
like to
it's no,
comment?
it's no biggie. Let's keep
So
going.
what's dumber, picking up the statue to see how heavy it is, or throwing a lighter into methane gas?
The answer is
I don't
Evan.
need your sass.
He was screaming at me, so you killed him! You're supposed to be a holy person! You killed him! He's dead!
I already have the death of one person on my hands. I don't need to feel guilty about.
Look what you did!
I don't.
Wait,
No, I
who
didn't
else?
murder the other one. That was Shaylin, who is currently still in the
that's-
bullpit dimension. But
Well, technically, you kind of didn't help him live. Let's just remove the
I
arrow.
did. I
No,
tried.
let's
Just
remove
not
the arrow. Let's remove that arrow.
Oh yeah, that was me.
That's basic medical. You don't remove. Sure.
So Rush doesn't
I
understand
don't remember about
what this is
that.
about.
No, but like I'm currently.
No, that was
panic
that,
again.
no, that Wait, was your
Was that the first mage guy we fought?
no?
Yeah, the guy that we stuck an arrow in. No, we had the first mage guy that we fought, and then we had the guy at the end of the last dungeon who
Shaylin
I tried
also
to first
killed-
aid,
Yeah,
and it
Shaylin
went
also
terribly
killed that
wrong.
guy. So Shaylin killed
And then-
2 people.
Then there was the Dream Thief as well.
And then there was the Dream Thief as well, who I killed because I was really like pissed off at the fact that she basically lied to me about my god. Yeah.
So Rosh just says, "Wow, no wonder you ran away from your town. You keep killing people.
I didn't run away from anything. You don't know anything.
You killed everyone."
She's gonna kill you now. Watch out.
No. And then Loic just starts crying again.
I used a healing word on Loic. No, I used charm.
Are none of you going to say anything about how the fact that Lois is crying again?
Stop crying.
What?
Those giving Loic a little rub on the back.
I did
Come on,
that.
we need to move
Are
on.
the
And
rest
I
of you
sniff
gonna-
and I wipe my eyes, and I'm still crying, but I'm trying to pretend that I'm
Slap.
not.
How about I'm gonna roll an investigation check, you know, just for some special people. Our group,
Got to run your investigation, sure.
All right.
We need eyes of me.
So Rosh decided to say some calming words to
No, it's too late.
I'm not gonna take your sodding sympathy.
What are his calming words?
He said sodding. That's British.
So Rosh looks at what's his name?
Loic.
So Rosh looks at Loic and he just says,
Do you honestly think you're fucking seriously? You're a fucking ugly little cunt, mate, and if I ever see you, I'm gonna fucking slit your fucking face wide open, yeah?
That sounds like Joe. Is that
Angry
Joe?
little fucking spastic. Right, I'll tell you what, you fat little cunt. You're boring. You don't sound Nigerian. So go and fuck yourself. Go and fucking crawl in a dirty, dank little hole where you fucking come from, you dirty, dragon-eating little fucking...
That's Joe?
Loic gets so roasted that he gets blasted into the bullpit dimension.
"There's another explosion from the roast."
Alright, what does Rosh actually say to Loic?
It's fine. I've killed a few people by accident.
I'm
you
still
said it,
crying,
yeah.
but I'm going. I just want to keep going.
What the hell?
Now you sound like a spy.
You sound like you have phlegm. Holy
I
shit!
do have phlegm because I'm ill as well, so fuck you.
Oh, your investigation check tells you this is a room full of fuck nuggets, a pile of ash, and a poison trap.
Fuck nuggets.
Where the fuck nuggets?
6 fuck nuggets to be precise.
Fucking nuggets.
Oh, by 7 fugger nuggets.
Fuck your nuggets.
But yes, there is the path to your north.
How do we kill all
so I rolled the investigation check at him.
Yes. So, yeah, no, that's what I said. There are 6 fuck nuggets in the room, a pile of ash, and a poison trap on the floor. That's what you can tell.
Okay.
This is
Can
fun.
we just keep going? Can we stop focusing on me, please?
Where's the traps? I don't want to move to death.
Let's head forward and stop focusing. We'll get some tissues later.
Yeah, Rush, you go forward and step on all the traps.
When you move your legs forward and you what does that mean?
Come on. Less meme and more playing, guys. Come on.
Okay. So Rosh decides to just head forward.
Okay. And as you proceed further down the hallway, if anybody else would like to
I'm
follow,
following.
you eventually see
Sniffing.
to your right a man with a hood over his head, and he's peering over what appears to be some sort of sarcophagus. Unlike the others on the right-hand side, this one is open, and he is tending to the insides. You can't see what's inside, but he's rubbing something, maybe out a skeleton or something inside, with another cloth like the one in the other room.
Hello?
He hasn't noticed your presence.
So Rosh steps in front of him and pats him on the shoulder and asks how he's doing, or who he is.
Does not respond to you.
Hello?
Rosh boops his snoot.
He does not respond to Loic's call.
By the nines.
Fell? Maybe?
Uh,
Can you speak Argonian to him?
in Argoni, I can't remember what the is. It like Taxial?
Yeah, Zaxiel is the name of the native Argonian.
I don't know this because of the fact that I don't know that
Meanwhile,
much.
Giuseppe is pressed up against what appears to be a solid stone door.
I'm just trying to move out of the way of people.
I'm
I'm literally not,
Well,
I'm not investigating this. I'm just moving out of the way.
No, but you have been pushed up against a stone door. And what you notice about the stone door is that there are assorted sigils on it that seem to depict several people holding spears, aiming them at the sun.
Oh.
What a foolish, act, really. The
Can I
sun's
do a
very
history
far
check
away.
to see if I know anything about it?
Of course, if let's roll that.
I will roll me a history check. Do.
Let me check your encyclopedia.
I know nothing. Do.
You know nothing.
What you're able to tell about this particular image is that this is quite a famous old piece from many millennia ago, specifically to do with cults of vampires, very primitive cults of vampires, who would attempt to eliminate the sun through, shall we say, conventional means. As you can imagine, they didn't get very far.
Oh, they're trying to destroy the sun.
Sorry, that's.
I think,
That's. I convey this information.
So, since everybody's gathered, I'd kind of like. Perhaps I should give him a little scare and, well, force him to talk to us.
Hold on, let me.
Can I wait? I take my holy symbol and I wave it out in front of him.
He still does not respond.
Okay.
And
Right, you go talk to him.
And Zaxiel, I say hello.
Rosh tells her to tells him to stop playing with his toys.
Okay,
The man
so
still does not respond.
Jothod approaches him and he grabs him by the neck and just like slam pins him against the wall. And just, just like, grabs him by the neck and just like slams him against the wall.
The man recoils and flinches a little bit, and you can see that it's an Argonian underneath the hood. However, his gaze is unfocused, and he seems to be staring into space.
He's a troll.
He's salivating from his lower jaw, and it's seeping down his
I've
tongue.
got this.
His
Rosh
skin is gaunt and pale. And
Rosh
his
approaches and he picks him up.
I'm
hang on a minute, I've got someone knocking at my door.
Hey, Fran, do you? I wonder if you can, like.
Shh. Let's listen to Adam's conversation. Okay.
Hey guys, welcome to Minecraft Let's Play.
Guys, he's coming back.
No, we don't talk shit about him anymore.
sorry.
Whoa, Adam,
It
what an
was-
asshole. What?
It was my housemate invited me down to do something, but I told him.
And you said no.
I said, no, I've got
Was it
got
Charlie?
nerdy Dungeons and Dragons to do.
Was it Charlie?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, you should put him on the mic. I want to chat with him.
No, you don't.
No.
My room's an absolute mess. I'm not
You've
letting
been
him in.
there a week.
Charlie's.
I
my
know,
God,
I know.
You have another spider colony in your goddamn dorm.
I may as well. Now, wait.
I had a spider colony in my room.
Yeah.
Nice. Gross.
I like had one jar and then I needed a second.
I also like
full.
Can we not
I-
discuss
Spotify.
I look inside the open sarcophagus.
Okay. So yeah, sorry. The man didn't respond to Ja'athard at all. Meanwhile, Fel, you look inside the open sarcophagus and you see that there is a rather large and quite unnerving collection of skulls. More specifically, Khajiit skulls.
Hey.
You can estimate there's about 43 of them.
How big is the sarcophagus? Jesus.
Fairly
Estimate
large. There's
43
cobwebs
exactly.
all inside it. There's also, in some of the skulls, little gold septims inside the eye socket.
Yay! So they can pay the toll when they go down the river of death.
That's not how it works, I say. Just carefully from the side, because I believe it.
Drops
is-
your gun, says he seems to be in a trance.
Let's just leave him be. Let's keep going.
As soon as you let go of him, he turns and begins retending towards the skulls. He is wiping the crowns of the skulls with his cloth.
Let's just keep going. Let's leave him
Does the insignia on the sarcophagus have any meaning?
Sorry?
Does the sarcophagus carving on the top, does that have any meaning?
None that you can tell. It appears to be some sort of like swirly floral pattern. You don't recognize it.
It means we should keep going.
be. Let's keep going.
Did-
I don't want
did
to
you
go in
say-
the big door. The big door is spoopy.
Look, as you proceed further down the hallway, you catch a glimpse of what appears to be a large chest at the very end.
No,
The corridor also seems to head to the left.
Investigation check.
Go for it.
I'm terrified now because I've already fallen into
why?
fucking.
Why?
You don't notice
I
any
don't
traps or any sort of indication.
Let's go.
To your left, there is a stone door exactly like the previous one.
Raj
We got
goes
the
up.
same thing.
Yeah,
Raj,
no,
Evan, do you wanna let somebody else go first this time?
yeah, okay, fine. Yes.
Woo!
I was okay. Oh, I was just
Okay, there's Emily. So
Separately.
you approach the chest. What do you do?
Try and open it. Well,
And it opens fairly easily. Inside, there is one flashbang and 2 potions of healing.
Flashbang.
I take them all and not tell anyone.
I charmed him.
You don't know anything. Stop
So
metagaming.
you guys have just you can reach into this chest and take something.
Well, no, I reach in and touch me. Sorry. I pick them up and then say, I have found 2 fuck.
I found 2 fuck.
I found the fuck. Da-na-na-na.
Is that like 2 Chains' long distance cousin?
It's me 2 fuck.
2 chains and 2 fuck. That's my new D&D character.
2
Luke
fucks.
found 2 times fuck.
Why you gotta be 2 fucking all the time?
Eyebrow waggle. Do you even have eyebrows if you're an
Doesn't. He's
Argonian?
pretending to have eyebrows.
You could get some eyebrow wigs. Have you guys ever heard of eyebrow wigs? Or
I
is
don't
that
want
just because I'm a girl and I know about these things?
No, please don't say that drag queen wears them.
No, not Trixie, don't worry.
And oh, bye, Fran.
Sorry, I accidentally unplugged my headphones. Eyebrow wigs. Let's have a detour. Eyebrow wigs are things that you normally use for people with like alopecia and stuff like that. But yeah, they're an actual thing that people use because also for chemotherapy and stuff. Actually, very useful. Look,
That
eyebrow
makes sense. I've also heard that you can tattoo eyebrows on.
Yeah, that's a thing that happens a lot of the time, actually, because if you've like given into the early noughties trend of over plucking your eyebrows, it means that you can get them like microbladed on, which is like a weaker form of tattooing.
So while Loic and
Sorry,
Ross engage in
the
an
eyebrow conversation.
and have a charming conversation with each other in the corner
About eyebrows.
So Jethard, Darren, Thel, Giuseppe, what are you guys doing?
Jothod approaches the door, and is there like a little keyhole there?
There is a small keyhole in the direct center of the door where it splits in two.
Alright, well, he peers through it carefully.
Okay, so it's very, very dark on the other side. You can see a ledge and a stone wall.
I'm a Khajiit, so I see better in the dark. So
you do see better in the dark, but it's still very dark. And you can just see a stone wall and a ledge.
I use thaumaturgy to open the door. If it's unlocked, that is.
You do use thaumaturgy. Unfortunately, the door does not yield to your spell. Something appears to be
anybody can pick a lock?
I can.
I can punch a lock.
Rush, no, we're not listening to your
So,
amazing...
Farah, you step forward, and what would you like to do?
I'm gonna roll for his sleight of hand to try and lockpick it.
Okay, so you slide the lockpick inside the hole, and then get it to work. Hey. You like to roll sleight of hand, yeah, okay. And within a few moments, clickety clunk, you manage to unlock the door.
Tanaka manages to spunk. Because it's clickety thunk.
I take a step back
He manages to
and
spunk.
bow.
Nerd!
Good job.
Your door is now unlocked. What would you like to do?
Lebanese.
Jothod slowly opens.
Okay, so as you open the door,
Do I see
The
more
sight
because Khajiit?
yeah, so I'll give you night vision. Hang on.
Thanks.
I
If I remember.
teleport inside.
Right, okay, so you appear to be on the higher level of some kind of inner sanctum. Just ahead of you, there is a ledge and a set of stairs that lead down into the main area. You can see there's some pillars. Over to your right-hand side, there are two pillars with some rather intimidating-looking stone gargoyles on top. There's a few tables with a couple of odd vials, barrels and bags, and various scrolls laid out there. Appears to be some kind of research area. And there's also a area to your left that you can't see so well from here. So you've just discovered this. The rest of the party's in the dark about this.
Nice pun.
Okay, so Jothod looks back and, well, I see not much, but I see a statue of some sort of creature with a bunch of barrels and bottles. Come on, follow me. Behind me.
I follow behind.
You proceed forward and head down the staircase. The room is cold. You can, you know, your hairs are on end. More so with the Khajiits because have more hair. But your hair is on end because the room, it's about minus 15 centigrade.
Oh, that's chilly. Jesus Christ.
Very, very chilly.
That's
You can
really
see,
cold.
You can
Lucky
see
for me.
smoke coming in from the sides of the room.
Lucky for me.
I am a cold.
I grab one of the wooden stakes and I light it.
Okay, you now have a makeshift torch. I'll
Yeah.
give you some extra light vision.
Thank
Rush,
you.
as you proceed
But
further
I
south.
use thaumaturgy to make it bigger so that it's also warmer as well.
So Rush, as Rush proceeds further south and stands behind the pillar, ahead of you, you can see another hooded figure. Once again, an Argonian. You can see the little snout poking out from underneath the hood. But he is the same one you saw through the window earlier, rubbing that sarcophagus with his cloth.
Rush decides.
Jathard, you to the north, you are by one of what you appear to, appears to be a research table and the gargoyle.
Okay, so Jothod approaches the research table and has a closer inspection. What is there?
Okay, so on top of this little research table, there are a bunch of blank scrolls, and there's also some notes about, it appears to be some kind of like transport log relating to the barrels to your left. And according to that, there are several different types of material. Some of them contain healing potions and a petty soul gem, but also one of the barrels contains nothing but blood, and some of the sacks contain raw human flesh.
Right.
Yummy.
I use my lamp to turn and to have more light.
So can Jothod come here and open the box with healing potions and soul gems?
Well, you know that there are soul gems and healing potions in there somewhere, but you don't know which ones they are.
Okay.
So you've got... Hang on, I'm just quickly giving out the light vision I said.
Thanks.
All right.
Right, so you've got a barrel on your left, a sack in the middle, and a crate on the right.
So he like kind of just lifts on the sack to see if anything like clinks or anything like that.
It's heavy. You can feel many multiple objects sort of thumping around inside.
But it doesn't make like any clinking noises.
There's no clinking.
He rattles the barrel a little bit.
You can hear a bit of clinking and something shattering.
He opens the barrel.
There are 2 whole healing potions and 1 that has fallen over and broken.
He grabs the 2 whole healing potions.
Okay.
Let's see, Jonathan. Then where do I add this to my inventory?
Yes.
Hold on. Let's see.
Can I do an investigation check on this area?
You can.
Hold
You
on.
do not.
So I just healing.
Just get the menu thing up.
Potion of healing.
Yes.
Which one was it?
And what does it weigh?
It's investigation. Its potion of healing weighs 0.5 each.
Where was that at again?
5.
Skills.
Skills.
And what does the description do?
It heals you for... We've got a table on it. 1 second.
I got a 15. What does that mean?
Hang on. I'm trying to do several things at once here.
He's a man, he can't do several things at once.
I've been given potions!
So, as you examine the pillars, as far as you're able to tell, they are normal stone pillars with goggles on top.
Goggles.
Goggles on top. Goggles. Giuseppe, would you like to do anything? You're kind of just there in the corner at the moment. You can see Rush down to the south is currently peeking around a pillar. Meanwhile, the rest of your team are poking around trying to investigate stuff.
Have these crates been looked at?
They have not been checked.
I will look at these.
Okay, so you got a choice of big sack on top or one of the crates or barrels around the bottom.
Sack on top.
Okay. So, what do you do with it? Do you open it up? Do you shake it?
Open it up just straight away.
So you undo the rope that's binding it and peer inside, and your senses are immediately salted with a rather sickening, sickly sweet stench of rotting flesh. And a few various, about 3 flies kind of waft out the top of it, and one nearly hits you in the eye.
And then he licks it away.
He licks it off.
I'm not an Argonian.
He eats it like a chameleon.
Trust me, cats also try to go after bugs.
No, cats going after bugs is one of my favourite things to ever watch because they're so fucking dumb.
But no, how do you react to this rather disgusting stench?
He reels back. Do I need to take a willpower not to like throw it off?
We can if you want. Do you want to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So do an unexpected willpower check.
Wait, what did my check do?
So that would be...
Traps?
Sorry?
Were there any traps in my area? Because I did an investigation.
Not that you could tell.
Alright, so I keep going forward then. Do I have to do an investigation every time?
I think willpower it'd be constitution.
Constitution, yeah.
So a save or...
Yeah, let's do a save.
A save.
Oh.
You succeed in managing to suppress your gag reflex.
Awesome.
Can I do an Arcana check on the gargoyles?
Guys, one at a time.
Sorry.
No, I'm going to talk over everyone now.
Jathod rattles the box to find if there's soul gems in that one.
Okay, so you can feel some kind of liquid swashing around inside.
Nope. Well, what else was there? There was the sack, there was the crate, there was
you've opened it. Except for the sack. You didn't open that, you just felt it.
Okay, well, he cautiously opens the sack.
Inside the sack, there are several severed heads, but not as rotted as the ones that Giuseppe found.
And he closes it instantly upon seeing it and just like backs off and just keeps walking.
Nope. Right, Fel, what were you going to say?
Can I roll for Arcana check on the gargoyles?
You may. From what you're able to tell, these are traditional gargoyles that were crafted
Gargoyles?
Gargoyles? These are traditional gargoyles that were crafted in Hammerfell. You can't recall the name of the specific artisan, but you know that he's very, very famous for these specific types. Very expensive.
Can
Very,
they
very
come
fast.
alive?
You don't know that.
Jathod curiously like taps at it.
Well, it's about 15 feet above you.
Oh, okay. It's
Meanwhile,
not like
Darren to the north has wandered quite far, and to the right you can smell a rather sickly stench. It's very sweet.
I go to Rush and I go, I think we should join everyone else.
I think there's a lizard man over here.
The man who was tending to the coffin doesn't seem to have noticed either.
I think we need to go back.
Is there a limit to investigation checks you can do?
No, there isn't.
Do another one just in case there's traps.
Alright.
Can we? Oh, we're gonna go join everyone else.
I'll keep an eye on him in case he tries to sneak up.
Okay.
Alright, 11.
As far as you're able to tell, there are no traps in the area. Jathod, you can see over to your left, thanks to your night vision, that there is a sealed door at the end of the corridor. Darren has just stumbled across a huge pile of corpses.
Oh boy.
Oh,
one of them looks like Deadpool.
Like, I say, by RK, oh god.
One of them's Deadpool, he's dead.
RK, protect them.
Yeah, I give burial rites and, like, go and start praying.
A constitution check to avoid throwing up.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm good. Can I investigate these guys? I'll do that.
You can investigate.
Oh, I get one!
Darren, you look at the bodies and you say, wow, those are some bodies, alright.
I do the same.
They're probably dead.
They're probably dead.
Maybe.
For how long? How long have they been
Check
dead?
their pulses. Loic, you wretch. How would you like to retch? Please describe how Loic retches.
Oh god, this is grim.
Splattered all over the floor. What does Loic have for breakfast?
Sweet rolls.
Half digested sweet rolls are now on the floor.
Oh god, I'm gonna. Oh Jesus. Jesus.
Okay. Darren just
fly is now my screen.
Darren just asked, "Are they dead?"
Are they dead?
They dead.
Jathod waves over to Thel and says, "There is another door for you to pick, I think."
Are you sure it's not open?
What?
Wait, was that Thel that went to the bathroom?
No, that was Evan.
Is the door open?
So I'm guessing Thel stepping matches.
Well, is the door locked is a better thing to say.
Against the door, it is locked. There is no keyhole.
Wait, it's locked, but there's no keyhole?
Yes.
Loic, can you use, thaumaturgy on the door?
If it's unlocked.
Oh.
Then I can.
So it's just a door that's locked, but it doesn't have a keyhole.
As far as you're able to tell, yes.
Does it have anything written on it?
No, it's a plain old fortified iron door.
Can we destroy it?
You're nowhere near here, though. I thought it was Evan.
Maybe we go back to that Argonian guy in the...
I could try to smash down the door. Well, I barely...
Use your monk powers.
Shall I try?
Go on then.
Or have Stress apparently use Hamon.
Okay, so Jathod starts doing a shoulder bash to break down the door. Let me do a strength check.
Strength check.
Hold on. One moment. Unskilled strength check. Yeah.
Yep.
Boop. What I got?
Bash! 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 Crash!
Onomatopoeia.
Onomatopoeia.
How do you break down the door, Mr. Jathod?
Like I said, I bash it down like a shoulder bash. And just
He does one of those cool...
The door gives way to your immense strength, shattering into a shower of splinters.
Oh, that's a bad look. That's a bad look.
I have to delete
That's
the
a
door.
bad see.
Oh, this reminds me of Shadowfen.
So before you lies a hallway with it appears to yield to the left, but there's also various spatters of crimson all over the floor, a large chest and what appears to be an iron lever.
I want to do an investigation check.
Okay,
because
let's
these
roll your
always go
investigation.
so well for me.
Hey.
Oh.
It did.
Okay, yeah. Sorry about that. I'm back.
No, you're not.
All right, bye, guys.
Wait, what?
No, I'm kidding. Stories everyone.
All right, we're all up north. So you look around and you're not able to see much further ahead because it's quite dark. But you close your eyes and focus your senses, and you can hear some mumbled voices further ahead.
I tell people that there are people.
Hushed, urgent tones.
I tell people that there are people.
Thanks.
There are people.
You can also hear, somewhere to the left, the voice of a preaching man. Would you like to listen in on his conversation?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And as you listen, you can hear the voice say,
I go,
Blessed Lord, he who sends his gift unto these worthy of his light, hear our plea. And you hear several other voices chime in, as if on cue. Lord, hear our plea. Merciful Lord, we offer unto you our undying devotion. We offer unto you your aid as agents of your will upon the soils of Nern. Hear our plea. Lord, hear our plea. Most holy Lord, we praise your name in the understanding of your magnificence, your superiority, and rightful dominion over man. Molag Bal, we implore you, hear our plea. Lord, hear our plea. All right.
That's the main villain in Elder Scrolls.
For now. May you ever walk in the light of our Lord.
Online. Kill them all! Let's go!
So Rush wakes up from his quick nap by the pillar, and he's like running back to where people are.
Okay, you can run north. So yeah, Loic down in Jathard, and I've heard that. Fell to Zeppeli, you heard most of it, a little bit less clearly.
Hey guys, sorry I was sleeping.
But Loic was the only one who managed to notice the hushed voices up ahead.
Did he say Molag Bal?
There's people here. There's people close.
Did he say Molag Bal?
He did say Molag Bal.
This is a Daedric worshipping place. A temple.
Technically, aren't we working for a Daedric prince?
Well, not willingly. Kinda had no choice.
So Rosh is like, wait, you guys are working for a
And these guys are vampires. They're working for Molag Bal. That's straight up vampires.
Okay. So I have lots of snakes and I have some holy symbols and stuff. Snakes? Yes. Stakes. Does anyone who doesn't have a stake want one?
I have only 2.
Please.
I have my fist.
I also have a spell, a thunder spell. That might work, I think.
That's also how I spelt it in my character sheet. I've just realized.
Everyone in the chat says.
No, I haven't. I have spelled it the right way. Okay, good.
So everyone, you're being offered steaks, not of the edible kind.
Steak, Liara, I fucking love steak. What?
How would you all like to respond to Loic's offer?
Wait, so would it be better to know about Soul Shriven and how the Alliance
to know about the history of Molag Bal and the Alliance Wars, pretty much what happens in ESO and stuff like that.
If you've read about it, if it makes sense for your character to have read about it in their backstory, then yes.
Because I think it would have made sense for him to know about the Oblivion Crisis since it was recent, and then everything of Molag Bal since you think that's like the
Shadow Scales.
Yeah.
And also having been someone who worked alongside the King of Black Marsh, I'd say he must have had to have a pretty good education to get to that position. So I'd say yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Feltonaka probably knows about all that.
Adam, what is this thing I'm pinging?
Okay, you can see that quite clearly that is a chest. Now it's a rather ornate one as well. It's got wood, but it's also got this lovely cream sort of it's kind of like a fabric on top with various.
Okay, so or Jathod sneaks towards the chest.
You're gonna have to roll stealth.
Okay, I roll a stealth. Let's see, where is that?
Were you gonna share something about the Molar
Yeah.
dropping.
Oh.
Phil?
I don't share anything right now.
Okay, so you come up in front of the chest, and as you do, you see two people in full iron plate armor slowly approach. However, using your quick reflexes, you are able to quickly duck back around the chest and kind of condense your body into a smaller shape to avoid being seen.
A cat ball.
The others have seen you dart behind the chest, but they, from their position, can't see the two people.
Jalthod, like, still crouched down. He, like, waves them back, like, get the fuck back. Like, don't come in.
Okay.
So you
How
will
far
do.
back?
There's
think-
people. I can see the people.
Can you?
Yeah, from your current location, you can see like slight movement over there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm able to see them.
Jathard is the one who can tell they're two people in plate armor.
Yeah.
Should we back a little bit?
They also have their weapons unsheathed. The bottom one is holding a rapier, and the top one is holding a huge, like a glaive or a halberd.
I activate Kamehameha.
Jalthod just staring hides.
Okay. Loic and Darren, you two are still kind of standing there. What do you do?
Yeah, I don't quite know what I want to do. This is the thing.
You know, you might want to listen to this.
Can I try and sneak? I'm going to move my character, but I don't mean to. I want to try and sneak around here.
Okay.
That'd be a
So
bad
if you'd
idea.
like to roll a stealth check.
This is going to go terribly because I have disadvantage with stealth, but it went well
Meanwhile-
last time. Let's try.
Meanwhile, what is Darren doing?
I sneak towards where he's at, the Ja'Afad. Yeah.
If you'd like to make a stealth check.
Back, you idiot.
Stealth check. I got a 15.
Okay, so Darren manages to move into the room and join Ja'Athard. However, there isn't much space there, and you are now kind of very intimately placed near each other in an effort to hide behind the chest.
You're not allergic to
Essentially-
cats.
In order to hide behind the chest, you two are essentially cuddling right now, and it's very awkward and uncomfortable. Meanwhile, Loic, in his full resplendent armor, falls into a low crouch and begins to stalk along the floor with the heavy clunk, clunk, clunk of his plate metal boots resounding through the hallway.
I thought
And
it
as he
like 3
takes
traps.
closer towards his intended destination, he catches sight of the two people who are walking in with their weapons raised, who, because he is not hiding behind cover and is not very good at doing snackety snack, immediately catch sight of him, their face contorting into expressions of confusion and rage, and raising their
You imbecile.
Bait him into us. Bait him into us. I'll kill him.
I'm just doing that. I'm just standing there, just breathing. I cast. What's it called? I cast
So they're
Sacred
fighting
Flame.
these people.
You cast what?
Sacred Flame. It's like a surprise,
Right,
like panic.
you can't move because they're in combat. You cast it. Okay, could you actually cast that for me?
Yeah. This is called panic casting. Feet fire.
Can my unseen servant do any damage by any chance?
They must succeed on a dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
Let me look at what. I'm gonna
29 attacks, powerful.
I'm gonna go forward and see.
Wait, no, you can't move, Evan. We have to roll for initiative.
Oh, I've already got you. Okay.
I have a surprise round because I panicked. That's why I'm allowed to roll.
Right. So, yeah. Do you want to describe how your attack flows towards them?
So what I end up doing is I just go,
Oh, and by the way, if you'd all like to click your tokens,
yeah,
if you'd like to click your tokens and roll your initiative.
yeah, I literally just go,
Let's roll initiative.
sorry, and just like throw.
Yeah.
Encore stats.
Look at that. The initiative from me.
-1.
How do you
So-
roll initiative?
As you cast this fiery radiance towards them, they notice what you're doing and manage to quickly dive out of the way. However, that doesn't stop them from being scathed by the magic, and each of them
I got 28.
The one closest to you with the rapier out kind of recoils and begins frantically trying to pat herself down, letting out these surprised yelps because, you know, her clothing's just caught fucking fire.
Yeah.
The other one doesn't seem quite as phased, even though he too is now on fire, but he now spots Jatathard and Darren canoodling behind the chest and raises his halberd ready to charge.
Let's kill him.
Okay, so how do I join the turn order?
You click on your character token. You got to click on your character token first, then go to your character sheet, and right at the top of the core stats page, that's the first tab, there's a little button called Initiative. And that decides where you are on the turn order.
Initiative, I don't see it.
It's
kind of in the center on the right.
Yeah, it's underneath your hit points.
So meanwhile, while Danny's looking for that, Darren, you get your move.
I'm in my spellbook. How do I know how to cast spells and stuff?
You pick one you want to cast when it's your turn, and you click the cast button. But yes, Darren, it's your turn.
Yo. Can my unseen servant do any damage by any chance?
No. It can do simple tasks, but it can't actually damage it.
I can move it close and then cast, right?
Can he perhaps distract?
You can move up to 6 squares and then use an action like casting or attack.
Well, Adam,
you run around the front of the chest and yes.
Can his serpent be a distraction?
It's invisible.
Well,
it can
create noise.
It can't create noise, but it can touch things.
I'm tired of finding.
Well, then it means that it can create noise.
Yeah, it could make a nail scraping down a blackboard.
Close. Wait.
As I said, it could grope someone's balls.
15 feet.
If you get creative with it, you can do lots of things.
If I use
Magic
Thunder Wave,
hands.
is that gonna affect?
If you use what, sorry?
If I use Thunder Wave, will that still hit Loic and Jathad?
The range is 15 feet, I seem to recall, so that will just hit the 2 guards.
Alright, let's do it! How do I cast? Cast spell! Kill them all!
1999. Okay, give me a second to make these saves.
I charge up my energy!
You pour your energy for the people of Earth.
Oh yeah. Everyone share your energy with me.
Okay, so describe how your attack strikes out at them. It hits them both.
I charge like Goku and then I release.
So you charge like Goku and this bolt of energy shoots out in a ring from underneath. The kind that, you know, you have to jump over in a boss battle. But unfortunately, these two haven't played said boss battle, and both of their eyes widen and they let out quite surprised cries as they get struck by it. The guard with the halberd, who was aiming at you and Jathard, is fried alive by it to the point where he ends up dropping his halberd, his muscles convulsing and twitching involuntarily until he turns to ash before your very eyes.
Wow, that's just how they die in Divinity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy.
Hello there.
So, which one died? This one? Or?
Hang on, I'm still applying the stickers.
Yeah, that guy. What about you, my
The other one is struck by it and flies backwards into a wall.
Oh shit, that's way too far.
You hear a sickening crunch sound.
Oh, no, that's a doofus punch.
Hello there. Hi there.
Hello there.
Hello.
Hello there.
Hello there.
Hello there. Hello there.
She's dead too. Hell yeah! Took him out.
Only through conflict can we evolve.
Got the fucking congregation down here.
Let me get my last words in.
Omae wa mou shineru.
Jesus, what?
I'm just going to play the victory music real quick.
Once again.
That's
cool. No, not again.
I always.
Wow, is this copyrighted, Adam?
Well, again, it's unmonetized anyway.
About it.
Yo, can I get a level up from that?
Oh, that's the ear rape version.
Yep.
I always feel so.
You have 2 corpses before you, and the priest from earlier has stepped down from his pedestal and come off to see what all the commotion is. Suddenly realizing that he now has a bit to his right and a group of people standing before him. And his eyes widen in shock, and he draws a dagger out from behind in his robes and points it towards you with a shaking hand. Who are you?
Can I immediately?
Why have you desecrated this sacred temple?
Can I immediately shoot an arrow at him?
What?
Can I immediately knock an arrow and shoot it at him?
Could you please make an attack roll for that?
I tell him if he wants some of this, he's gonna end up like these other two niggas.
In the meantime,
Dani, you can't say that on YouTube.
You're on YouTube.
You're gonna end up what you call?
Fel knocks the arrow and looses
He said
watching as
nigger,
it
he
flies
didn't say
directly
nigger.
through the man's
Oh my
eye.
fucking god.
He freezes for a moment, blood spurting out of his mouth. He lets out a cough, and then he falls limp to the ground.
okay. In the meantime, Jathod tries to
So
open
the rest of you have any
chest.
comments on the fact that Fel just immediately shot this man?
Nope.
Nope. This is kind of par for the course now.
Shoot
he
first,
tries
ask
to-
questions later.
Let me open this chest.
Rosh, you're pretty new to the group, and even though you figured out they have a predisposition for random murder,
What? He's a fucking.
you've just watched your party Argonian just shoot this random guy. Do you have any comments?
Rosh is only angry because he didn't get to do it himself.
You express that to Phil.
Yes.
Orchid is mad. He wants fight.
Rosh, he runs up. Which one's the lizard that shot him? You. Everyone's killing these random people in here. That guy was innocent, and I wanted to kill him first.
Innocent. He was preaching the Moloch Ball. He's far from innocent.
Yeah, you guys are Daedric worshippers too. I heard you whisper about it to yourself.
Didn't say that we were Daedric worshippers. I said that we were working for them. There's a difference. This is against our will.
You're working for the Daedra. What's that about?
Actually, hear them say that.
I heard her say that, and I questioned her about it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I did.
And then
Oh, okay, ignore me. I'm just retarded. I didn't say anything.
Yeah, but I also said that we didn't have much of a choice. So
I apologize. RP away.
get wrecked, nerd.
Yeah, explain yourselves. I have the Tommy gun.
You have a Tommy gun?
By that, he means it's magic missile.
Oh, it's magic missile.
I haven't even.
So, right, okay, Rash, my good friend.
Explain!
I'm trying to. Please don't shout. I get very nervous.
I will cast Thunderwave on you.
So nervous that you pull your mic out.
Again, I'm very special. So, basically, what is the thing is one day, randomly, we woke up in a Terror dungeon, and there was a big scary man, and this big scary man, what was he made us work for him, and we have to go collect these things whose name I can't remember because it's been so long since we've actually done something.
Pillars of Aetherius.
Aetherius, thank you. Pillars of Aetherius. And we need to find these things, but we've ended up sort of not being there, and now, yeah, we have to go collect these things, and we haven't really done anything towards it because I think that this guy owns our souls.
Huh.
I'm so good
what
at
happens
explaining
if
stuff.
You need to collect something that you don't remember that you collect, or this man eats your soul.
We're dead on the inside.
We were spared death by this Daedra, and in return, we're to collect these things called Pillars of Aetherius for him. Now, you said you seek knowledge. We'll find knowledge looking for these Pillars of Aetherius.
Yeah,
I'm
man,
interested. I kind of got lost and you rescued me, so I guess let's take along. Sometimes until I'm in the ball pit,
you'll be able to cast Super Fire Missile.
Damn, boy!
Yeah.
I want some super fire. What the hell was that?
I just heard screaming.
Yeah.
Yeah, ignore it. I want some super fire missiles.
Yeah, maybe.
The priest.
You know, that's what happens when you murder a priest on his altar.
He's still screaming.
It's fine.
No.
It's like what happens when you put spaghetti sauce in a microwave. It screams.
I don't know if all of you are fucking blind, but there are 3 people who just watch this shit.
Oh, we know.
fucking idiots.
We don't care.
For a long time
If they're
again.
gonna fight, we'll fight, and I'll kill them.
And also this. It sounds like we just started a new round of Black Ops Zombies.
Wave 3, begin.
I turn around and look inside the chest to see if there's anything useful.
We're such a great team. We're such a great team.
So you should have thought, Feltanaka, who's gonna win?
Well, I give anything that isn't useful to me to others.
So Jathar looks at you and said, "Hi, I want to do that."
Okay, so I guess
You open the other chest. Let this guy open this one.
Okay.
Yeah, that is true.
Thal opens the chest then, I guess.
Yeah.
Let him.
But Jothar just like peers inside.
What's that spooky ass noise, guys?
Okay,
That's
so
just me and my inner soul.
it's Thal opening it, yeah? Is it Thal opening it?
Yes.
Okay, so you plant your hands on either side of the lid and try and leave it upwards, but it's locked.
Side of hand roll.
It does have a keyhole.
Perhaps
there is a key around somewhere.
I checked this dead guy's body.
He has the halberd and a couple of septims in his coin purse, and also a small note from a loved one. Beyond that, he has nothing of note.
Murdered a man again.
Well,
Murdered a man again.
with our luck, these people were here to stop the vampires. So I take the note and the septims.
Okay. So you've received 89 septims, and I'll get you information on the note in a bit. Would the rest of you like to investigate the other corpses?
What is this exactly?
That is an iron lever.
Don't pull it. Don't pull it. Don't pull it.
What if we kill two?
I'm gonna roll an investigation check.
Okay.
Of just like the room entirely, honestly. Investigation.
There's nothing you can tell much about the lever besides the fact that it is a lever, but as you take a step into the room, several things become immediately apparent. There is a statue of a large serpent on your right-hand side, and there is also another statue on the left side that appears to have been shattered and broken. There is also a door to the west and to the north, but the north one goes down a few stairs, and it's rather large and has some ornate symbols on it, but none that you recognize.
Can I? Is there any possibility I can check if I know these symbols?
You just don't know the symbols. But also, you look at the floor, and you notice there are several footprints, crimson footprints, leading from the door to the west down to the door to the north.
Alright. There are some doors here, and well, rather spooky-looking statue.
Spoopy.
Is there anything in the statue pile there?
No, it's literally just shattered, broken stone and ash.
Okay. He peers to the keyhole if there is anything.
So there is no keyhole on that door. It's a sliding door. There's two handles, and you kind of pull one side of the door to the left and the other side of the door to the right, and it slides.
Somebody come back me up just in case.
Okay, so do you beckon someone over?
He beckons to just, Yeah,
okay, so Giuseppe comes over.
And then he starts to try sliding open the door.
Okay, so you slide open the door with little to no resistance.
Oh dear.
Before you, if you'd like to step inside. And I'm gonna, Sean, do you want to come over just so viewers can see as well?
Could I loot this other person real quick to see if she has a key?
We'll do that in a second if that's alright.
Sure.
I'm just gonna bring you over here just for viewers to see. Okay, so in this hallway, as you can quite clearly see, there is blood everywhere. The stone floor is uneven and cobbled, and there are several different pipes pumping fluid into the room. Not at any pace to fill it up, it's more like sewage wastage. And there's also a few various vents in the walls. And there's also another door to the northwest and southwest.
Jothod steps out, not really wanting to explore this part, and cautiously approaches this door instead.
Okay, so again, the door has many ornate symbols on it, none of which that you recognize, and it's the same sort of door as before in that you pull it open.
And he pulls it open.
Okay, you must gather your party before you can venture forth,
Oh boy.
because that leads to a different map.
I do look at this person's body to see if there's a key.
Okay, so on this guard, you see her lovely silver rapier. There's also another coin purse, but this one has only 12 septims inside it. And there's also a bronze pocket watch. A very, very valuable pocket watch at that. For this is indeed a Dwemer pocket watch.
I'll take her pocket watch and silver rapier.
Okay, I'd like to add those to inventory. We'll sort out waiting a bit later. Would anybody like to search the last corpse?
Well, the big guy? I mean, not the big guy, the priest?
Yeah.
I'll do it.
I have to do it, but if you want to, you can.
I'll do it.
Okay, so as you proceed further down, you begin to recognize this as the hallway which you guys were in earlier before we went into the side room. There are several people on the pews, but they all appear to, even though they can see you, you're in plain sight, take no notice of your presence. As you search the priest, you find a key in one of his pockets.
I have a key. I have a key.
His body is still warm.
Is that all he has?
That's all he has. Just a key in his pocket.
Let's open this chest then.
Let's see if I can open the
be
chest.
a creepy piece of shit and take his clothes if you want, but why would you do that?
I don't need his
Inside the
clothes.
chest. Inside the chest, you, as you open it up, it's surprisingly bare and barren inside, but there's still a couple of objects inside. It's like when you open a packet of crisps and there's like 80% air and only 20% actual crisps. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But inside, you find a small, it's kind of like a blade, like a small broken dagger, and it's shattered in several places. And there's also 2 glass marbles.
All right.
I'm just going to very quickly, hang on. I'm just going to get you the information on this.
Maroon's razor.
Oh, I know that weapon. I recognize that name.
I bet it's a Maroon's razor.
Oh wait, is that Maroon's razor? Oh god.
No,
Is
I don't
that
know.
Maroon's razor?
I think it might be because it's a fucking dagger, and it's broken. It's always broken in every Elder Scrolls.
Sorry, I'm just literally trying to find the information on this. It's in the fucking loot section somewhere.
Rip.
Okay, well, essentially, it is, it's a box, and inside the box contains a shattered dagger.
Which is...
Would you like to make an investigation check, like an Arcana or a history check on it?
Oh, I have to? Alright.
If you'd like to know more about it, yes.
Perhaps someone with the higher intelligence. Because someone who doesn't have a -4 modifier.
Oh, yeah. Intelligence check. Well, Arcana check uses what?
Either Arcana or history.
They're both
Arcana check
intelligence.
do? What did they do?
According to you, Darren, this is a fancy broken dagger inside a felt box.
What about investigations?
Well, that's that's the check you've made.
I look up to the. I look at the dagger and I make an Arcana check.
Okay, Darren, do you want to pass it to Lorik to let him have a look?
I
Or you
wanna
can
have
do it? He can be like, no.
Please, may I have a C?
Have C.
So Darren passes this box.
You don't have shit either.
Oh, I'm like, damn, this is some shattered shit here.
Lorik stares at the dagger intensely. He's like, wow, that's a dagger.
May I see the dagger?
That could be broken, but I don't know.
Here, you can have
I
a C.
only rolled a 3 on my Arcana check.
I rolled a 1, technically.
Alright.
But there was also one other thing inside the chest.
What?
Darren,
It was a poison.
you place your hand in and scoop up the petulant knife.
Petulant knife?
Wow.
What? Dani. It's a talking knife?
Oh, Fel, were you making a history check about the shattered dagger?
Yes.
Okay. So, Fel, you actually recognize this as a very historically important artifact. This is the Heaven's Talon, and it was the property of a very old main of the Khajiit people, someone who fought as one of the members of the Three Banners War. He actually carried 2 daggers, and this is one of them. Supposedly lost a very, very long time ago, but you can clearly make out this is either a very, very impressive and accurate replica or the real deal. However, as you can see, the blade is shattered into several pieces. The handle is still intact, though.
Do I have to put the knife on my inventory?
Yeah, I'll put the name down. It's Heaven's Talon. But yeah, so Fel recognizes this knife.
Petulant knife.
So would you like to, what does he say if he says anything?
I tell Darren about the history of the knife.
Heaven's Talon? So this is like one of them, right?
One of the 3, if it is the legitimate thing.
Is there any way we can repair it?
Are the other pieces of like the broken blade there, or
Is it the whole set and it's just broken, or is it just some?
It's difficult to tell because the blade is shattered into about 20 different pieces or more, but it looks like most of the mass of the blade is still there. It's a bit of a mess, though.
Maybe a talented blacksmith could put the pieces back together.
That's a lot of pieces, yeah. We'll hold on to it for now.
Does Giuseppe have any comments about this, about these findings?
These are knives.
These are
That's a stabby thing right there.
These are knives, mate.
Would you also like to pick up the 2 glass marbles?
Nah, I'm good. I'll leave those there.
I'll take the glass marbles then.
Fel scoops up the glass marbles. They
Jathan
are rather
whistles
cold to the touch.
So you told it you're already dead?
Yeah.
Doesn't appreciate marbles being so cold to him.
Hey,
Right, so
Jathan whistles over to the gang.
Split up, gang.
How dare you whistle at me?
Hey,
Zavada's beckoning you all over.
did we ever pull the lever?
Please don't.
Pull the lever,
I'll
Conk.
go over to Jarathard. Stare down the evil sneaky man.
Darren and Rosh, you're passing the lever. Do you want to engage your inner mischief and pull it, or just ignore it and follow your teammates like good?
Wait, I have to pull the lever.
Don't give
No,
Evan
no,
this choice.
no. There's a lever there. Nobody else has touched it.
Oh.
Give Evan this choice.
I'll let Evan kill himself. I'll stay here, though. I'll stay here.
Well,
I want to rush into any situation. I'll rush into any situation.
Okay, so everyone, you can see that Darren is. Wait, Darren, are you going to stay behind?
I'm here.
You are coming. Okay, so the entire party is heading forth.
So,
Good spicy boys.
what about that one letter?
Take us away.
I'll get you information on that in a little while, okay?
Okay.
Take us away.
Taking you away.
A secret place.
Oh, it's my turn?
I can't see this. Oh, there it is.
Right, so as you all pass down the stairs into the hallway, you find yourself on a stone staircase.
Jathod leads the charge, well, carefully. What is there here anyway? Like,
what you can see ahead of you is what appears to be some kind of lobby. There are a few pillars, a rather nice rug, and also a couple of braziers.
I don't know what you guys would like. On my screen, I only see staircase, nothing else.
Is this the staircase to heaven?
Yeah, all I have is the staircase.
No, there's nothing beyond this line. Like,
Oh, hang on. I may take a view sight. Wait, that's really weird. You should have sight.
let me refresh the page. Okay.
Yeah. Are you telling me you can't see that? Oh, I know why it is.
I can't.
Oh,
see
I'm a dumb. Give me a second.
You were dumb.
No, Evan, come back.
I can't see anything.
The problem with randomly jumping ahead is that it reveals things before you're supposed to see them. So don't do that.
I can't see anything. It's just pitch black.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to fix that. Hang on.
This music
Fucking
isn't helping my sanity.
Bad DM.
Hang on.
I'll be back in a sec.
Right.
Chain me to someone or something.
Oh, there we go. I see it now.
Okay.
Keck.
Right. I'm sorry about that. I thought I had that set up properly.
Mega keck.
So, these are guards, right?
Yes, ahead of you, you can make out a few guards currently sat at a table. Give me just a moment before you do anything. Right, so yeah, on the south side of the room there is a desk with a few scrolls on it and also something that appears to have something written on it. There are two guards sat in the table having a rather loud game of chess, and they appear to be arguing. Would you like to listen in on their conversation?
No.
No, that's rude.
I'm gonna roll stealth. I'm gonna sneak over to the tables. I'm rolling stealth.
Okay.
Hmm.
Alright.
And I have a look at the scrolls here. What are they?
So most of them are once again blank. However, one catches your eye, and it appears to be a very rather hastily and poorly scrawled map of some kind.
Can we change this music, please? Because
It's not actually playing for me.
I'm gonna
Thumbs kicks.
Because
it's honestly not playing on my end.
no, it was fucking terrible.
It's creepy, terrifying music right now. I can hear it.
It
sounds absolutely haram.
Sounds like what?
So that works fine. Why doesn't this one work?
Oh my god, it's getting so intense.
I'm muted the tab. I'm not listening to this anymore.
Holy crap! Why is it? It feels like we're like storming. Why is this screaming and everything? What the fuck?
Wait, what? I don't understand. I'm not actually playing any jukebox
I know, but it's still terrible. There's just this really intense music playing.
I can't hear the track anymore when I play it.
All I can hear is like, there's like Roman screaming. Oh my! It sounds like someone's getting stabbed in the background.
Yeah, it's really creepy.
I don't hear it.
It's gone for me now. It's gone for me now. I did hear it.
But okay, so Jonathan has found a map.
Oh, it's picking up again.
Yeah, it's picking up again.
I can't hear it. What the fuck?
No, there's chanting, and there's literally the sound effect of stabbed.
It doesn't matter.
And there's some guy going, ah!
I just hear some lady going, ah!
Yeah.
Oh, cool. There we go. There we go.
Oh,
it's working now.
It's just like terrifying. Oh my god.
I put the information up for you, and it's now
the spirits,
in your
Evan. They're telling you.
This is a somewhat crudely drawn map that seems to show the layout of Glowspire Temple's lower floor. The meaning of the crosses is a bit cryptic, as the artist has neglected to include a key. The hastily scribbled and unorganized nature may suggest that this was made by someone who was not supposed to be down here.
This is quite unsettling. Let's see.
Can you put in a song request?
Interesting on the table. Adam.
Yes.
There's nothing else interesting on this table.
No.
Okay. I don't know. Try to sneak over here because they're still playing chess over there.
Loic, Giuseppe, and Thel, you're watching your teammates go sneaky beaky downstairs. Would you like to do anything?
as I'm very good at sneaky beaky, as everyone knows, I'm gonna just stay on the stairs.
Okay. Thard makes it safely to the door without seeming to alert the guards.
Oh god, I hear moaning.
No, friend.
Jonathan appears to the keyhole.
Okay, there is no keyhole on that door.
Crap.
No, friend. That's gay.
Is it locked?
Well, you can try and open it.
That's very
he tries and opens it.
Okay, so it's another sliding door, and as you pull it open, you have to do it really slowly so the guards don't hear.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it opens up just fine.
Alright.
As you're here, you can now hear that the guards are arguing very loudly about whether or not the rules of the game that they're going by are either traditional Bosmeri rules or some other type of rule set.
Okay.
One insists that he's won by the traditional Bosmeri rules, whilst the other loudly retorts that neither of them are wood elves, nor did they ever agree to play by that specific rule set in the first place.
Okay. Investigation check for traps in this area.
Okay.
One moment.
So the rest of the party are still quite a ways behind. You're going to try and help them to get across somehow?
I roll for my
you can
sneak,
tell there are no traps ahead.
so I'm gonna move up with him.
There's no gayness ahead. I had a...
Okay, so anyone crossing that area is going to need to make a stealth check. That includes you.
Oh, I see something here.
I did make a stealth check.
Oh, I see. Okay.
16.
Right. Darren, Rush, Giuseppe, and Loic, if you're going to proceed across the area, you want to make stealth checks.
I have to make a stealth check
Yes.
to go here, right?
If you want to go to that door up north, you will need to.
Okay, alright, well... Let me try.
Jathard, you come towards a sealed wooden door. On the left and right side, you can see what appear to be two kind of like catapults or mini ballistas, and there are also several little smaller corridors.
Okay. I did an investigation check of the ballista thing.
Okay.
Another investigation.
Detect evil! Detect magic! Detect anything!
I got 11.
Okay, Darren, you're able to sneak on by. The guards are pretty darn distracted by their riveting argument.
Okay, and I got 18, so...
Yeah, if the rest of you would also like to make your 3 roll. Yes, Jathard, you aren't able to... Hang on, did you make a roll? 18, yeah. So, as far as you can tell, this is just a pretty normal ballista. There is rather intimidating looking spear with a steel head mounted into it, and it's locked into place. You can't help but notice that it is aiming directly down a small hallway.
Okay.
These are ballistas?
Like
Can I disarm
mini
them?
sort of catapult things.
Do I sneaky
You can give it a go. Do you have any thieves' tools?
I'm a cat.
I do.
You're a cat.
Like, can I just, like, pull the spear off?
Be a cat.
You could normally, but the problem is that it's
You're a
actually locked. You know the sort of curved part of a bow, of a crossbow? It actually splits into 3 separate different pieces of metal, and the spear is kind of in between them.
Mm.
So it's kind of in a tricky position to get out.
I see.
It's very fiddly.
Jesus, what's down the corner? Like, I can't even see.
I do have a set of thieves'
Let's
tools.
cut back to the others for a minute, because they're kind of been left behind.
No, I did a snacky snack, I hope.
You did a snacky snack. You snacky snacked very well.
Yay!
Rosh and Giuseppe, you are still there as the rest of your party has snuckity snuck ahead.
I'm back.
You're back. Oh, you're back, right. So you went downstairs, there's a lobby, there's some guards. You need to do a snickety snack to sneak on by.
How many guards?
2. I'll just move over there so you can see them like everyone else has.
Okay. Are they quite engrossed in their chest? I left before.
They are very engrossed in their chest. They're having a very loud argument about the fact that one of them should have won if they were going by traditional Bosmeri rules, but the other one is saying that they never agreed to play by that to begin with.
So most likely it's Jamie.
You do need to make a stealth check. That move, though.
Oh, no, I'm not.
Mother, please.
I'm not going stealthily.
Mother,
Oh, you're
please.
just walking.
Yeah.
Okay, you walk on by, and one of the guards does happen to hear your footsteps. And he looks around as you're back here, and suddenly drops the conversation. However, the other guard doesn't quite catch on to his compatriot's sudden expression of...
Which one is the one that wants to have won?
Wants to won.
Like, that as in, like, which one was saying...
The bottom one is the one who's arguing that you should have won, but he's the one who's kind of looks at you and his eyes widen. The other one is still very large. He's very engrossed in his current point of the argument. So even though his comrade has very clearly spotted someone, he doesn't know.
I'm going to walk over.
Look, mate. And as you begin approaching, the bottom guard suddenly jumps up from his seat and grabs a dagger from his belt and aims it at you. Says, halt! What are you doing?
No, Giuseppe holds up his hands. Like, pause, hand. They are the hands? Are they hands?
Pause.
At this point, the other guard realizes what's happening and gets up as well. His eyes narrowing at you.
This one thinks, he points to the guard that's holding a knife at him, that you should have won that chess game.
Well, yeah, obviously. I mean, wait, hang on. Who are you? What are you doing down here?
So then Raj steps up and says, I think the other guy should have won the chess game.
They realize that Rosh is in the back and suddenly start to look a little bit worried. And says, the one to the north says, how many are there of you? I mean...
Only 200. And we're just both very into chess.
The south one just doesn't look terribly amused by your comment. It says, look, mate, this is a very personal argument, all right? It's just between me and my mate here. Also, you're not supposed to be down here. Did the priest? I bet it was the priest. It was the bloody priest. And the top one just comes solemnly.
Yes,
like,
that priest is very bloody.
He's a bit of a wanker, isn't he?
That bloody priest.
bloody stream.
I made him bloody, all right.
But do you see, David? See, it's stupid. Like, we're not even playing by Boss Mary rules, all right? Shut up, Bob. We have...
His name is Bob?
Yeah, Bob and
he's my manager at Joblaw.
David, the south one, is like, shut up, Bob. We have a situation to deal with.
I just start snickering at Bob.
Wait, what's that?
Nothing. I just say nothing. Nothing.
Bob's like, oh. Hey, David, I think there might be more than 2 of them.
No, there's only 2 of them.
Rosh goes into hysterical laughter.
Jesus.
Just say you're a ventriloquist, Evan.
Right, okay. I don't care what Priesty Boy said. You all need to leave.
No,
restricted area, like... just go back to your preaching
This
shit.
one will play a game of chess to see if we get to leave.
So then Rosh goes, we killed the priest.
No!
So David looks kind of taken aback at that comment, and Bob just doesn't look fussed at all. He's like, well, it's about time, to be honest. Torch is a wanker. Bob! Seriously! Oh, I'll tell you what, David, why don't we just let him have a game, and let's up the stakes a little bit, yeah?
If Rosh wins, they kill themselves.
I don't like those odds. No.
2v2 chess.
Tell you what, here's the plan. Let's say, how does 500 septims sound? Put that down on the table. But to spice it up a little bit more, if we win, you leave and don't come back. All right? Sound good? Yeah? Yeah? Good?
I only have 40. I am a preacher.
Well, I'm sure your friend there and anyone else who might be in the area.
Nope, there's only 2.
There's no one else.
He's just sort of eyeing. You can see Lois kind of poking around the corner.
Psst, Darren!
Who might be in the area. I teleport on the table. I teleport on the table, drop 500 septims, and teleport back.
Darren!
I walk out.
If we win, you leave and you don't come back. Because this is a restricted area and we're doing our jobs. And also, you don't tell our supervisors, you know.
Of course.
You supervisors are dead, so it's
Now, Bob, what do we get if they... Whoa. Money! Yeah, no, Bob, we already told them they get money. What else do they get?
Unlimited access.
More money.
We get your armor. We get your guard armor.
I mean, my guard armor.
I don't know. That's actually not bad for 500 acceptance.
we get their armor.
Yes, but then what will we walk around in?
Underwear.
What? Everyone knows.
Clothes.
There's always the risk of walking around without any.
Right, but play fair, right? No, seriously. If you screw us around...
Which set of rules?
Well, Bosmary, of course. David! David! You know the Bosmary are fucking carnivores, right? People. What's that got to do with that? They eat people, David! That's fucking sick! That's disgusting! Yes. And you want to follow their chess rules? I'm not having none of this, no. And Bob just kind of storms off in a huff. And he kind of pushes, he doesn't even take any notice of the fact that you're all there. He just pushes past and goes, excuse me. Can you move that way? Can you move, please? Can you move, please? Thank you. I'm going for a drink.
Oh, I was spinning myself and I was going to stand on my head. I was going to stand on my head.
Right.
Psst, Darren, send your servant over there.
Chess.
I don't even know what chess is.
Rubs his hands together, threateningly.
I don't know.
Procures a coin purse from his pouch, a rather hefty one, and plants it down on the table. There we go. That's basically 500 septims. I'll count it later. Right. So you got 1,000 septims there in total. It's quite a nice pot. Right. So who's black and who's white?
I'm green.
You're not playing, or get off the table.
I'm on the table.
Get off the table and the chair.
Fucking racist.
Do you have any kind of things you want to say before we begin, Mr. Catman person thing?
Catman. This one prefers whites.
Racist.
Oh, man, I mean, his own and all, but you know.
No, it's just
free speech and all of that.
Very free speech.
Now you're actually up close and sitting face to face with him, you can't help but notice that his face, much like the others, is also awfully pale and gaunt. And his eyes,
I do the detect undead.
His irises are glowing a strange amber.
I do my thing again. I
Loic,
cast
within your
Loic's
radius. You detect a single undead.
It's him.
Is it?
He's undead.
So Fel, you're currently sitting alongside.
Yeah, I rolled 25 for stealth. He doesn't know I'm there.
Well,
you teleport behind him. Nothing personnel, kid.
Lord, technically everyone's undead because none of us are dead.
I just look over him. Hey there.
Alright, so listen here. House rule says that whites move first. So,
racist. Not house rules. That's how chess works.
So you obviously have this typical wooden chessboard before you, and you have like pawns and typical things. However, you can't help but notice that your pawns are kind of like all gangly and very oddly shaped. Like
their fingers.
Instead of having perfectly spherical heads, they have top hats, and their bodies are just horribly deformed.
That sounds like my body you're describing.
That sounds like an average British person.
Oh my god!
If you would like to,
is that Total Biscuit?
So there's two ways we can do this. We can actually go play a proper chess game, or we can just have to make rolls.
Let's just make rolls.
Let's just make rolls.
Game. No.
Right. So, would you like to play fair and square, or would you like to attempt to make some sneaky, underhanded tactics? So the other Fel and Rush and the rest of you can also help out if you think you can get away with it.
Well, I'm sneaking for 25 right now. I can do really anything, right?
Right. Okay.
Knock his king down.
Knock his king into his lap.
Can I move around?
You can. So meanwhile, Athard, you were still looking at that. What's that over there? So Joe, if you wanna play fair and square, all you need to do is make a sleight of hand roll. Oh, not sleight. Sorry, my mistake. You need to make a unexpected intelligence roll.
How do you whisper to people? Is it /W?
Yeah.
Yeah.
An unskilled.
It's alright to just say it in public though, because obviously we don't allow metagaming, so you can't do anything your character doesn't know.
No,
An
but I don't want
intelligence check.
No,
That's what you do if you want to play.
I don't want anyone else to know what I'm planning.
What are you planning?
I've got a secret.
I knew it. She's working for the Daedra.
I'm trying to do several things here.
She's a Thalmor agent.
Okay.
The Imperial, that's a Thalmor agent.
But yeah, so an unskilled intelligence roll.
Yes.
Cool.
And it's going to be versus his. Someone said.
I sit on Sean's lap.
Adam, I see him.
Do the guards know that we're all here now?
The guards know that you're all, they kind of figured out that there's more than 2 people, but they don't know exactly how many there are.
They don't even.
Shitty guards.
Well, apart from Bob, who just walks straight through them.
Okay, so the first few turns get off to a start that is most obviously in your favor. You begin by moving your rather strangely shaped pawns across the board, and he begins trying to be possibly smarter than he actually is, or trying to appear smart by confusing you and moving around knights and bishops and that sort of thing, but you're better than him. And you know exactly what he's up to. You're about a third of the way through the game, and things are looking like they're in your favor. How would you like to go about it from here? You can also talk to him if you want. He's kind of got his head in his hands, like he's looking a bit grumpy.
Are you getting a bit stuck?
No, I'm fine. It's fine. I've got a plan.
Good.
Go on, mate, you move. Go on.
Why is Jossapilli on top of the guard?
I'm not.
Oh, wasn't there a guard there?
He walked off. He stormed off quite loudly.
You're around the corner, and you can see a guard. He's currently facing to the north, patrolling up and down the hallway. There is also a door, which appears to be a metal grate to your right. Like up and right a bit.
Is he looking away from me?
Yes, he's facing to the north currently. But it's obviously it's a stone hallway. Making steps and moving around makes quite a lot of noise.
I want to do a stealth
You'll never catch me alive.
Yeah.
You metagame.
I want to do a stealth check and then like.
I read your mind.
Alright, if you'd like to make the stealth roll.
You're about to say, "Or am I should do?"
Okay, and now move where you would like.
I just did.
I want to choke him out.
Hey,
how
here's
would you
Bob.
like to take him out? What would you like to do?
I just got ripped over here.
Guys,
like,
can you, guys, stop.
I was following him. I want to see.
Guys, so what does your card do?
You know, like what is it, like a chokehold? You know, wrap your arm around his neck and then choke him out.
I'm just thinking, do you want to let the camera see this?
Chokehold.
Oh yeah, of course. We need to get that over.
You just move me over there.
Check them.
No, you're fine. So you want to choke him out? Do you want to break his neck as well?
Sure, break his neck.
Okay. So do you want to describe how you choke him out?
Choke him out until he's weak enough, and then just grab him by the temples.
Well, I'll break his neck.
Yo, ballin'.
You do exactly that if you succeed on a strength check. If you'd like to roll a strength check, please. Unskilled. So as you put you kind of hook around his neck and yank him in close, and his arms are also restrained as well, preventing him from going for his weapon, and he's writhing around trying to free himself, but he's unable to before he begins to run out of oxygen and slowly becomes more and more limp until he just falls completely still in your arms. And then you can snap his neck if you want.
What are you, Snake?
What are you, Hitman?
Actually, no, just choke him out and then.
And leave him on the floor?
He's passed out, right?
Yes. If you slap him, he'll slump to the ground.
Then Rosh comes over and snaps his neck.
And then just like slowly like kind of like guide his body down to the floor.
So he makes little noise.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh dear, oh my.
Nice. Can I loot his body?
You can. On his body, he is wearing a full set of standard issue plate mail armor for a city guard in the Cyrodiil region. So it's fairly good armor. Obviously, it would take a while to get it all off him because it's heavy armor. It would take about 10 minutes to get someone who's conscious out of it. But in his pockets, he has a coin purse for 89 septims. He's got his iron longsword, which is kind of sheathed around his lower back, pointing to the side. And he's also got a couple of small dice in his left pocket. But they're not like normal dice. These ones have 7 sides. All 3 of them.
Okay. He just takes the gold, really. Just the gold.
Leaves everything else?
No, nothing else.
Choke people up and take their money.
So where do I put the money?
You literally just add it to your gold in your inventory. So, cutting back over to the game, what does Giuseppe do now?
Makes another. Oh,
he plays normally. Rush, do you want to do anything here?
With the guy getting looted?
No. I mean, do you wanna be sneaking underhanded and try and help out? Giuseppe.
I won't be sneaky. I'm not very sneaky at all. You can't even crouch down. Here's like no problem.
Can you move me back over there? Yeah, I had a 25 stealth on there.
If you choose to do so, you can also do something. If you can think of anything.
Could you kill him?
What?
Kill him.
What?
Kill him dead.
Kill him.
I take one of my stakes and I throw it at him.
Oh my god, really? Do you actually...
I don't know what the situation is. I've been zoned out for like the last 15 minutes. I'm really sorry.
if we're going to attack him, perhaps...
With the guards.
Yeah, I know that.
And it's going in Giuseppe's favour.
Oh, then I don't want to
still throw the stake at the guard.
I did another intelligence.
Would I be able to cast a spell at the guard?
You can. Hang on, though. Whoops, wrong one.
I don't think we should,
Okay.
I don't think we should interrupt until he starts losing.
Yeah, right. So a few more turns pass, and although you thought you had the upper hand, things seem to randomly switch, but it's very gradual. Like, you still think you've got the upper hand, but then on one of your turns, you suddenly realise you're a little bit fucked and cornered. You've got a few pawns left, and also most of your back line. But both of your towers have been taken out by his bishops, and he's got you in a position where he could probably get you in a checkmate in a couple of turns. He's now got a rather smug grin on his face, which he's trying.
At Giuseppe.
Wait, you're doing what?
I wink knowingly.
Yeah, man.
What's wrong, Catboy? Cat got your tongue.
This one can still speak.
I
threw the stake at him.
Wasn't that funny?
Wait, is he
I
distracted?
threw the stake at him.
Is he distracted?
He is.
If he's distracted, then can I move some of the pieces?
Is the guard knocked out? I don't know. What just happened? Who got knocked out?
The guy far up top in northwest. Where's your Thardas? He knocked a guy out.
Can I peer through the doors?
I have a question, Adam.
You can. Yes?
Would I be able to take the guard in the middle of his chess game and just pick him up and put him on my shoulders? And be like, we're wasting time.
Why would Rosh do that?
Because we're wasting time. If we could just go.
This is part of the game.
This is part of the game, Evan.
Rip.
First, DnD does not understand how DnD.
If he's distracted, then I would like to move some of the pieces and to
put the game back in my favor.
Yeah, to put it back in his favor.
Okay, so you're gonna have to make a sleight of hand check for that.
Why? Really? Because I have a 25 stealth.
Yeah, but you got to do it under his nose, because don't forget you're reaching out in front of him, and you also got to do it very quickly.
You say he was distracted, though.
Yes, you still need to make a sleight of hand check.
Yeah, it's like distracted, but it's like distracted, but he's still looking forward.
You're still right next to him. Please make a sleight of hand check. Okay, thankfully, he is just about distracted enough, laughing raucously with his eyes squeezed shut as he tries to wipe away those tears of joy. You manage to swap around a couple of his pieces, and also Giuseppe's own pieces, so they're now in a slightly more favourable position. Once the guard finishes his laughter because he realises Bob isn't actually fucking here, he looks back at the board and suddenly notices something is off. And he squints at it for a moment, as if he's thinking very, very hard, looks up at Giuseppe, straight in the eye, and then back down again, and then seems to think nothing of it, and just kind of puts his chin on his knuckle and waits for Giuseppe's next move.
Giuseppe looks at him innocently as he looks Giuseppe in the eye and just says, "This one was about to tell you not to celebrate too early."
Nah.
Nothing personal.
Probably shouldn't have. But I've still got this cat, just you watch. I've been playing chess for 26 years.
And you've been playing checkers.
I am a master of my craft. How long have you been playing it, huh?
This is my second game.
Don't feel too bad when I kick your butt, okay? Because it's a tough game. Tough game. Okay. You'll learn. You'll get better. You won't win this thing.
You won't win. Oh, that was very Wheatley-esque. I like that.
What would you like to do now?
Oh, just continue playing. Anyone else want to do anything?
I want to look through this door.
Okay,
I'm following Catman over here.
Okay, so the rest of you have come over. In fact, Rush, do you want to go over as well?
Over here. Oh, no, I teleported.
So,
do you want to go, cameraman?
What's going on? God damn it.
Cameraman, come over here.
Cameraman?
So, Jathard is peering through the keyhole of the door, and you see something rather worrying on the internet. You have a look for yourself.
Oh,
I don't know if you can see it from there.
I can.
I cannot.
No, the door isn't open, Evan. Go back.
Oh, that's not.
He's peering through the keyhole. So, Jathard, you can see before you a long hallway, mostly empty, and some kind of huge magical bubble encasing some horrific, large, fleshy metal monster.
Oh,
It's restrained in place.
Is it trapped?
It appears there are like bolts of lightning and electricity that seem to be restraining it in place.
Okay. Jathard steps in.
So you open the door and step inside.
Yeah.
And
investigation check for any traps.
Okay.
I know that there were ballistas pointing this direction, so there might be something, that. Let's see. Investigation.
Are you also going to want to communicate this to the rest of the party?
Not yet.
Okay.
Oh, by the way,
you don't. So the rest of the party, you've just seen him walk inside. You can't notice any traps in this room.
Okay.
There are none that you know about.
Still not saying anything. Jathard approaches this table to
Do the rest of you have any comments on the fact that your party members just waltzed into the room that which you can now see is full of this? It's got this horrible monster in it, and he hasn't said anything.
Rosh wants to know if that is a good idea to do that alone.
Yo, man, just have him take care of the monster on his own.
So what's on this table?
Wait,
on the table, there are various scattered notes and books. Most of them are utterly illegible. However, there is one book which appears to be a diary of some sort. Okay.
I open it.
You open it and read it.
Yes.
The handwriting is basically chicken scratch, but you can pick up some odd bits and pieces here and there. It seems to be some kind of log relating to the creature to your right, a flesh atronach, and specifically how it can be utilized to basically farm blood.
Oh.
Flesh atronach!
Is that the only book of interest in there?
That's the only real stuff you can discern from the diary. It's so horribly illegible, and that's the only thing that you could read in the first place.
Why it gotta be so illegible?
There is a door. There is a door to the north, and there's also the door that you came in through. So everyone else, do you have any comments, anyone, about this?
I'm still watching the chess game.
I'm gonna use a healing ward to heal myself.
Is that Bob? Why is Bob here?
How is this creature like acting?
So Darren, you plant your hands on yourself, and healing energy runs through your body, and your wounds begin to soothe.
Yay, I'm healed.
Right, sorry, what did you say, Dani?
How is this flesh Atronach acting? Like, what is it doing?
It appears to be utterly restrained in place. You know, like people convulsing when they've been hit by a taser?
Yeah.
That's essentially what it's doing right now.
Okay.
It's T-posing.
Seeing as
It hasn't been animated.
Seeing as it's
His animations haven't loaded
probably
properly.
safe.
Gotta get Dan on it.
So as you step closer and closer towards the bubble, you can hear this strange ringing in your ears. And it's a little bit uncomfortable, not painful. But with every step closer you take, it gets louder and louder. And it's kind of like, you know how if you'd have a flashbang go off right next to you?
Yeah.
It's like that
tinnitus kind of thing.
Yeah.
Alright. And
That's how you get tinnitus.
The door unlocks easily.
Yes, you get tinnitus.
Oh boy.
Ahead of you, there is a chamber with devices and blood splattered all over the floor.
Oh, that sounds exciting.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, I see someone.
Before we proceed, we're going to cut back over to the chess game. Giuseppe, how would you like to go about this last bout of chess?
One more.
I'll still fucking stab him for you.
Could you move me back over?
Oh, also, yeah, cameraman is actually next to us as well.
Oh, yeah, cool. Can we bring cameraman back?
Or camera lizard.
Camera lizard. Camera lizard. Calling you back.
Camera lizard. Camera scale.
Camera lizard.
Right. Are you wanting to play properly?
Yep. I'll play properly unless it goes wrong.
Okay. So, if you'd like to make one more intelligence check.
These this entire time.
So, you begin moving your pieces around the board. It goes back and forth, turn by turn. And eventually, you get into a position where you're pretty sure you can kind of move in and get that checkmate. However, you completely forget the difference between the king and the queen piece. And you move your king across the board as if it was a queen. The guard isn't paying enough attention to realize this, and lets it happen anyway. However, on his turn, he then realizes that, oh my god, his king is on my side of the field. I can checkmate him. So he moves in his tower and gets ready for a checkmate. He looks up at you smugly and says, "Better luck next time, mate. Told you, it's practice and precision. You got to plan ahead, read your opponent, you know what I mean? Still, though, you got one last chance to redeem yourself, but not sure what much good it's going to do now." He sits back and crosses his arms with that smug look still on his face.
I can still do it.
No, Giuseppe
I can still.
coughs quite obviously.
I could slip a dagger in his neck, you know.
Coughs quite. No.
I take a steak and I throw it at him.
There we go.
Could you please make a ranged attack roll with
Dude.
Okay, just roll a 20. just roll a 20.
Okay.
I hear
You don't need
unsettling
to roll that
music.
many 20s.
Oh, I didn't mean to.
Right, okay. With your first, we're going to go by your first roll.
My nat 20. Yes, please.
So describe how you lob this this steak at him.
I go, what's over there? So he looks at the wall and then I just throw it at him.
The steak goes directly through his neck.
Fran, how could you kill Steve?
His name was David.
David, how could you kill David?
It ricochets off the wall and flies back directly into his crotch.
Oh no.
He now has a hole in his neck and a hole in his dick. He flops over directly onto Theltanaka's lap, writhing and screaming, and pretty much dying in his
Get his
lap.
heart,
Yeah.
get his heart, get his heart, get his heart, get his heart, get his heart. I like basically like scream at Fel to get him to get it to, to get him to.
I take my wooden stake without even looking at him. Stab him in the heart.
So as his warm blood floods over your hands, you can feel the last essence of life draining out of him. He falls limp in your arms.
There goes 26 years of nothing.
The gold glimmer in his iris. The gold glimmer in his iris slowly fades away. And his last words: I was gonna be the champion.
I was already
like no one ever was.
Check them as my real test.
Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. You've destroyed a chess champion's dreams.
Yay!
Won't be the first time you destroyed someone's dreams.
Can we end there, please? Because my concentration is like non-existent. I've been on Tumblr and WhatsApp the entire time for like the past hour.
Just picks up the money. Well, picks up the big coin.
The big cone.
Picks up the big coin. Also, by the way, this is moved.
Oh, I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. Wait, what's moved?
This one.
What's moved?
Wait, did it?
Yeah, no, this one moved. One of them, there we go.
No.
Right,
Left one was in the right place.
I hope you... sorry, go on, Joe.
No, the left one was in the right place. Like, put that back in the center of that one. Okay, bye.
I'm just moving you back, hang on. Sorry, pardon me. Keep going.
Like the braziers were in the right place. It's just Bob stormed out and knocked one aside without caring.
So he just was not paying attention.
Right. Thank you for joining us for session number 4 of the Elder Scrolls. What are you writing?
Hi, Bob. Dislike this video because David died.
David died.
David died.
Damn it,
I
David.
enjoyed it for a little bit because I told him that we were playing chess and he didn't believe me.
Right, so let's gather a little bit of endgame feedback real quick. Okay, so let's start with the negatives. What did you feel could have been done better at the session? What did you
Less chess.
Please.
Fuck off, Fran!
No.
Please do less memeing.
Yes, I agree with this.
Sorry, I find it really hard to concentrate on stuff.
Jokes and banter are great, but I felt like we didn't take much of that session seriously at all.
I find it really hard to concentrate over a long period of time, and I'm very sorry, I don't mean to, but it's just my concentration wanes.
No, obviously, yeah. It's just that we were memeing so much. Like, there were many times where, like, how do you guys want to react to this? And Evan would say something like, I'm Terry Crews. You don't splash body wash can body odor for 12 hours. You get the idea.
Wait. Keep going. What does it do?
Point is, it didn't feel like Rosh was speaking. It felt like it was you, Evan. And I mean, you're new to the game, so obviously that's something we can work on.
This is my first ever D&D session.
Exactly, and I'd say you didn't do too bad. But that's just something we can improve on in future sessions.
I think I did awful.
You were genuinely good. It's just we do need to turn down the memes a little bit. So, what other things did you feel could have been improved?
More David.
More David. Okay.
I would like to give a shout out to Linus.
To
what? Tech tips.
What?
Mine is my passion. Okay, then. So, what positive things do you what do you like about this session?
It was really fun.
No, I like the openness that you were able to say. I said I want to have a chess match, and you're like, okay.
Honestly, that was completely just that was
a curveball.
Yeah, no, honestly, that was completely just fucking improvised. But I'm glad you enjoyed that. Were there any other bits you enjoyed or particularly liked?
I know this sounds really stupid, but I actually kind of liked the way in which Raj was introduced, just because it was like the fact that he was down there for several days is fucking hilarious. And also just I think the dynamic that Rush and Loic have accidentally made, because the whole whispery bit that we did, that was funny to me. I greatly enjoyed. I'm gonna go join everyone else now. Okay, I'm gonna watch like that. And it's like this person wasn't gonna pay attention to us anyway, but it just amused me.
I like the guards. I like the guards. It's like they thought there's only 2 people. Like Darren and I were just like,
this guy, nope.
And then the other guard is not giving a fuck at all.
It was like a jovial session, but there were like memes. But it's like it was light-hearted. But even though it was like we've just like uncovered an undead church, basically.
More or less.
Pretty much.
But you all have fun, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay, if you think of any more things you feel like could be improved or you particularly liked and want to see more of, just drop me a DM on Discord and I will try and work them into future sessions, okay?
Are we still recording?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're still streaming. But yeah, no, I'm glad you all came. Thank you for coming here today, everyone, and I will see
Is
you
this a full
next
house?
Wednesday.
Oh, apart from Do.
Apart from Do. Actually, that's the point. With Do, I'm going to try and see if I can find a new day when we're all free. Because Do can't do Wednesdays anymore. It's his busiest day. So we're going to try and see if we can try and work him in somehow. So I'll talk to you all on that, about that on Discord later.
Tuesdays will never work
No,
for
I'm on
me.
stream, Fran. Jeez. And it takes a very long time to organise anyway. So we'll do that over text chat later. But basically, just assume that it's going to be...
Ooh, that was a fast one.
Shit! Fucking 100cc!
Was that a
Adam's
ninja?
funky fresh dick. Oh no!
I do have a funky fresh dick.
It smells bad.
Assume it's going to be roughly the same time next week. And with that, I will see you all never again because my life is going to be consumed as of tomorrow with Divinity.
Oh, wait, we need to finish the first one, cunt.
I know. I'm willing to play it right. Actually, no. Nintendo Direct is in an hour and 50 minutes, but I am willing to play the first one with you this evening. But yeah, so
Should we stop streaming and say goodbye to everyone?
Goodbye to everyone.
All right,
don't come back.
Watching. Thank you,
Never watch us
one-man
again.
audience. Please
It's
don't.
me.
It's
I'm the one-man audience.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
I always have it up just to make sure that like if there's any
Thank
problems.
you,
or something, I
Fran,
can
for
go, sure.
watching our stream.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Fran is a
No, one of my friends came and watched for a little while.
Was we playing chess?
I sent the link to Sam because I was like, "Look, we're playing chess," and he was like, "I don't believe you."
Well, now it's going to be a video. You can say to Sam, "Hey Sam, remember that time we played chess?" And Sam will be like, "Oh yeah, baby."
That's exactly how he's being.
When I was 14, they said, "What do you want to do in 5 years?" I didn't expect to do this stupid shit.
I want to pretend I'm a big strong boy.
I want to be a spider.
Okay.
Thank you to everyone who has joined on the stream, even though it was no one. And we will see you all next week. Bye-bye, audience.
Cut the feed, Sean. Cut it.
Okay, stream over.